Christmas! Well, a very good morning to you. Welcome to Shop on TV with me, Rob Lock, with an E. And this is a very, very special show. And I've been looking forward to this for a long time because it has been months in the planning. Now, just full disclosure, Scotland, it's just you and me at the moment, and some other friends we'll introduce you to in a moment. ITV is joining in about 10 minutes. So we're going to do a little intro for you, a little sneaky peek, and then we'll welcome ITV. And when all of the audience are sitting comfortably, we'll start the show in earnest. But what is the show? It's Royal Mint. Excuse me, the Royal Mint. And when it comes to companies, those three words have been uttered longer than any other in the United Kingdom or in Britain, because the Royal Mint is the oldest company in the land. It really is. All lands that formulate or constitute the United Kingdom or Britain. It's the second oldest in the world. And it has an incredible tradition. Obviously, they make coins. They've made coins for royalty since day one, starting in the Tower of London and then latterly a few years ago moving to a new facility in Wales. But it's not just minting coins that we use in circulation, it's also collectible coins. It could be awards, like I believe the OBE is minted by the Royal Mint. Also medals, war medals, but also medals, for example, during the UK or during the Olympics when they were over here. The medals were minted by the Royal Mint as well. It's probably the most famous company that probably everybody on the planet knows. And the whole show is dedicated to that. And we have some amazing prices. The Royal Mint have pulled out all the stops for you. We have big discounts from 10 to 30%, which is for any keen numismatists out there, is unheard of. But you're shopping at Royal Mint directly tonight, but there is a special page, landing page they have made just for you. It's exclusive to Shop on TV, and that is royalmint.com/TV. You have to put the TV bit on the end. This is just for you. All of the different coins and collectibles that we have available throughout the course of the show, and the discounts will be applied at checkout. So you will see an item code. I'll show you again in a minute on the screen at the top. You choose the item code from the top of the screen, which is just up here. Hold on, it's coming. There it is, right at the very top. Then obviously you have your description, the percentage, and also the amount of money you're actually saving. And remember, this special offer ends when the show ends at 3 a.m. They'll let the web. I think the holding page is going to stay live till about 4, just to mop up, anyone that's checking out and in the process. But it is a hard out, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't checked out by 3 a.m., by 4 at the latest, that's it. You're not getting the deals. It's as simple as that. So let's meet the lady who knows more about the Royal Mint than most people will ever know in their lives. The wonderful Stephanie Morris. Hello, Stephanie. How are you? So lovely to see you.
You too.
And boy, have we got some special items tonight.
We really have. You're right. We've pulled out all the stops at the Royal Mint to bring you some exquisite products tonight. And it's unheard of for us to offer discounts here. So we really do have some amazing deals for the viewers at home.
Absolutely, ranging from 10 to 30%. So we've actually got the first thing we're going to show you, which is a limited edition. It's got 20% off, and this is the silver proof coin. It's a silver sovereign.
It is.
These have been struck for a long time, haven't they? The silver sovereigns.
Yes, yeah. We've been striking gold sovereigns since the year 1489, Rob.
Yes.
So under the reign of Henry VII. However, this year is a really special year for the sovereign. Not only are we celebrating a big anniversary, the 200th anniversary of the shield-back sovereign, but it's the first time in our history that we've struck a silver sovereign.
Wow.
So this is a numismatic first.
A numismatic first.
Absolutely.
Easy for you to say. Now, so this is the proof one, the proof version, which is £63.99 after your discount, so you're saving £16. However, there is a non-proof version, which we'll show you in a moment, and there is a way of telling. What is that?
So they're both actually struck to proof standard.
Oh, I see.
Yes. Yeah, they're both struck to proof standard, but what we have is one that carries a very special privy mark and one that doesn't carry that privy mark. So the one without the privy mark is ordinarily £79.99, The one that has the Privy Mark has a much lower mintage, so it's much rarer, and that is retailing at 125, but obviously subject to tonight's
So I've got them wrong way round. I thought I did.
So this is the Privy Mark.
This is you see next to the 2025, you see the little dot. That's the Privy Mark. So that, if you want this one, the Privy Mark, which is much rarer, as Steph said, then that's £100 tonight. You're saving 20%, £25 until 3 a.m. Remember, shop at royalmint.com/TV and check out straight away. The item code at the top. I'm not going to read all the item codes out because some of them they get really long, but you'll be able to find this on the landing page. So that is the difference. So if I showed you the other one, which is the £79.99, you can see it doesn't have the Privy Mark.
That's right.
So the Privy Mark, they're both limited edition though, aren't they?
Absolutely. So the one without the Privy Mark has a mintage of 50,000, so only ever in the world will 50,000 of those exist.
Amazing.
The one with the Privy Mark has a limited mintage of 15,000. 15.
Wow.
So very rare and exclusive.
Now, of course, sovereigns, I had a half sovereign, because when I was in my 20s, you know, everybody had a sovereign ring or a sovereign something. And I'm pretty sure it was a half sovereign. I didn't get the full sovereign because they were like knuckle dusters, the rings. So they are available in gold as well. And of course, that's how most of us would know. And we have a really, really, really special presentation for you in the gold. Look at these. These are just, I mean, this is the whole thing, right? So it's got this beautiful wooden lacquer box. It comes in the box.
Yeah.
And then when you open the box, look at what is inside. So, this is number 5. Look, you can see you've got your individually numbered certificate of authenticity at the top. You've then got the removable inside. And look, that's hinged. That is amazing. And it comes in this beautiful outer sleeve as well. So you're saving 10%. I mean, for a numismatist to save £229.50 on a... to save on coins at all is actually quite rare.
It is very rare. We don't discount. As a rule, the Royal Mint don't discount, and this is really special because there's only 200 of these sets being made by the Royal Mint. So 200. In this 200, and it has this year's sovereign. So this year's 2025 gold sovereign, a full sovereign, which has the shield back design. But also what it also has is the 1825 sovereign that was struck under the reign of George IV, so the original.
Wow.
And what the Royal Mint have done is sourced those off the open market, re-authenticated them, said, yes, we made them originally, it's absolutely a Royal Mint original, and put them in a 2-coin set for consumers who want to mark that.
A current and an original.
Absolutely.
I hate talking, I almost feel dirty talking about price, but you know, even at the usual price of £22.95, to have something that is so historic, so rare, so incredibly famous. I mean, the sovereign coin is just famous, certainly the nation over, but I would say probably around the world as well.
Absolutely.
And they're in these beautiful what do you call these little packs that they're encapsulated in?
So they're in capsules.
Capsules?
Capsules, yeah. They're absolutely in capsules.
Encapsulated in capsules, funnily enough.
But that's to protect the coin, Rob, because it's really, really important.
Can you take them out of the capsules if you so desire?
You absolutely can, and lots of numismatists choose to do that because they want to treasure and hold and touch and feel their sovereigns. But at the Royal Mint, we would always recommend that you keep them encapsulated because it does avoid any damage.
I just love it. I absolutely love it. Now, the great thing is also... Excuse me, sorry. Don't do that with yours.
Talk about avoiding damage, Rob.
Yes, exactly. They're very well protected. You just demonstrated that perfectly. They actually have a window on the both sides, so you can see. Obviously, I've got that upside down, but let me. You know, doing these shows, I wish I had more than one pair of hands. But you can see. You actually can see the head. So in fact, that one's round the wrong way anyway. But do you know what? We're going to have to stop for a second because ITV are about to join us. So we're going to call that the rehearsal. So all the stuff if you're watching in Scotland, all the stuff I just messed up, you wait till you see it on ITV. It's going to be slick. It's going to be perfect. No one will know. Right, here we go. Just stay right where you are. ITV, well, we'll be back in a moment.
Merry Christmas!
Hello and welcome to Shop on TV with me, Rob Lock, with an E. You got a little preview of who was presenting tonight during the titles, didn't you? This is a really, 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 really special show, ladies and gentlemen, because look at who we have here. The Royal Mint. 3 words that have been tripping off of people's tongues since 8 886, the year 886, not 1886, the year 3 digits, 886. The oldest company in the whole of Britain, the second oldest in the entire world. They have the exclusive royal charter to coin or to mint all of the coins that are in circulation. They also deal in gold bullion and silver bullion as well. Not everybody knows that. They also produce medals. So the OBE, for example, is produced by the Royal Mint. Even some of the Olympic medals were produced by the Royal Mint. They're one of the most famous heritage companies on the planet. And tonight we have a very carefully curated collection from all different price points and all different themes of collectible coins just for you. Now, one thing you should know about the Royal Mint, they absolutely never ever discount. They just don't. But here on Shop on TV, for a very, very special exclusive Black Friday just for you, and only until 3 a.m. So at the end of this show, you've got just over 2.5 hours. They have, just for us and just for you, between 10 and 30%. So some of the higher priced items, you're saving hundreds of pounds. So this is the time to shop. If anyone who collects coins, any numismatists out there that you know who are friends, call them, tell them to tune into ITV immediately or STV, because this is a very, very special show. Right, let's get going, shall we? Here from the Royal Mint, the brand ambassador and the lady who's forgotten more about coins than I'll ever know, it's Stephanie Morris. Lovely to see you, Stephanie.
Lovely to meet you,
Thank
Rob.
you. We're going to have such a blast because I can't wait to get into the heritage, and we will. We're going to talk stories and history, and I know you are laden with great things to tell us about not only the Royal Mint but also the coins that are produced and various other facets of the business. But what we'll do to start with, we're going to give you a little tickle, a little tease of what is coming up in the show, just a few. Now, I just want to say very quickly before I do that all of the items tonight do not go to royalmint.com. We have a special landing page. It's kind of a secret landing page just for you that nobody else knows about, and that is royalmint.com/TV. And there it is. That is your special page. All of the items that are available, all of the discounts we will show you, were obviously on the graphics on the screen, and they will be automatically applied when you go to check out. So you can have a little peruse of everything. That's it. That's what we've got coming up on the show tonight. And if you'd like to see any one of those in particular, by all means drop us an email, studio@shopontv.co.uk. And we will, I'm sure, regale you with stories on demand if you so desire. If Stephanie knows something about it, any question you happen to ask, she will. That's one of the reasons she's here. We have some amazing royalty collections, amazing military collections. We've got Harry Potter. We've got the Gruffalo's Child. We've got it all. But one of the things that takes me back to my childhood, which is, and we'll do a little preview for you now, is the sovereign. I had a half sovereign ring actually, but many of my larger fingered friends had the full sovereign. But also, well, not just rings, but they were all the rage back in the sort of 80s and 90s, you know, necklaces and so on and so forth, weren't they, Stephanie? Mm-hmm. So we've got 3 different versions for you. So everybody gets a shot at having a sovereign. So we're going to start with the most affordable, which is this. Now, again, check the item code at the top. This is the silver proof. They are still limited edition, $79.99, but you're getting 20% off. Again, unheard of, isn't it? Unheard of. Yeah, $63.99. So would you run us through this one, please?
Absolutely. So the one you're looking at there has a limited mintage of 50,000. Yep. So we commit to only ever making 50,000 of these silver sovereigns.
What happens after that?
Well, I mean, we will just only ever mint 50,000. Right. And if we do choose to make a silver sovereign next year, obviously it'll be dated differently and it'll be a completely different coin. So for the 2025 silver sovereign, now a sovereign obviously has already been released in the year 2024, but all sovereigns that are released in November are always dated the next year. So it's a 2025 sovereign.
Yes.
And what's so special about the silver sovereign is that the Royal Mint have been striking gold sovereigns since 1489 at the Tower of London under the reign of Henry VII. So we have been striking sovereigns for years and years and years. But actually this year is the first year we've decided to strike a silver sovereign.
So even if you dip your toe into the water of being a coin collector tonight, for $63.99, you can say you've got one of the first ever silver sovereigns ever minted in the entire history of the Royal Mint.
Absolutely.
And these, as with all of it, comes this beautiful wood, even at that price, this beautiful wooden lacquered box. They're encapsulated. They've got the king's head, and you can see that they are windowed front and back, so that you can see both sides. The head and the tail. And we'll take you through the rest of these because they're 2 steps up from this one. You can always check it out at the website. Remember, you're shopping tonight at royalmint.com/TV. royalmint.com/TV. This you've got to check out immediately once you know what you want, because all these offers, all these special offers, all these discounts disappear at 3 a.m. Gone. That's it. It says it right on the screen. Here are some other things coming up in the show. We have, as I said, we've got such a mixture of. We were very careful with the planning. We've been planning this for months to make sure there was something for everybody. We didn't want to exclude people, but we wanted also people with a certain budget to have an exclusive kind of product. I mean, like, for example, the silver sovereign. But let's go to the First World War, shall we? This is, oh my goodness me. Now, this is a 2-coin sovereign set. Unbelievable. That is extraordinary, and that is the longest item code that I think we've got tonight. No, there's one slightly longer. 10% off this, 142.50, normally 14.25, but we have it tonight for you exclusively for our Shop on TV viewers for 1,282.50. Can I just say very quickly, Stephanie, that basically the reason we've put on the P&P from £3.99 or from 9 is because all orders up to a value of £250 are £3.99 postage, and then all orders over £250 are £9, and it's a special delivery as well, so it's a different kind of.
It has to be signed for. It's a high value item, so we would always want it to be signed for so that it doesn't get lost in transit.
Absolutely. Have we seen that? Yes, we have. Yes. So now it's Christmas. Sing a song of
sixpence.
Pocket full of something. I don't know what the pocket is.
Rice? Is it rice? It might be rice.
Rye.
Rye. It's rye.
And look at this. It's just amazing. From 2024, normally £22, but we've got it for £17.60, so you're saving £4.40, 20% off. It comes in that beautiful presentation card as well. But what would you use it for? Look. In your Christmas pudding.
Absolutely. It's a stir-up Sunday is one of those traditions, Rob, that nobody talks about anymore. But there's a long-standing tradition on stir-up Sunday. So it's meant to be the Sunday before Advent that the family gets together. You pop a silver sovereign into your Christmas pudding mix, and every member of the family stirs the pudding. Oh. And when you eat the pudding around your Christmas table on Christmas Day, the person who finds that silver sixpence, their wish will come true. So you make a wish as you stir up your Christmas pudding. Oh. So not enough people do it. We need to bring back the tradition of...
if you're buying your Christmas pudding store-bought?
Well, you don't do that. You have to make your own.
You have to make your own.
Absolutely. Yeah. But it's not only a Christmas gift, so it's perfect if you want to have a lovely stocking filler, if you want to own a piece of silver, a piece of history. But also there's that long-standing tradition as well of when people get married. Now, you know that saying, something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue? Yeah. It actually finishes with, and a sixpence in her shoe. So there is a tradition that a bride should always have a sixpence inside her shoe. And when I got married, I glued one to the underside of my shoe because it was absolute agony to walk down the aisle with a sixpence in your shoe. But the sixpence isn't just for Christmas. I mean, obviously, it's a beautiful Christmas gift if someone wants to buy someone a gift for Christmas. But also, there's other traditions that surround the sixpence as well.
We'll cover some more of those a little bit later. Get those quickly, because now those... These are not a limited edition, and so there are probably a few more of them available than some of the other coins. But at that price, what a great stocking stuffer. Guaranteed delivery before Christmas. Now, we do have a gold one coming up that's really rather rare. So we've got massively... There are only 3 items in the entire show out of 25 that are not limited edition, but they're all special in some way. So that is your Christmas silver, real silver, sixpence for £17.60. Could be your first, sort of example of owning a very, very collectible heritage coin. Now, next, here we have something truly wonderful. I love this, I really do. For all the youngsters out there, it is Christmas coming up. Again, this could be a wonderful Christmas, either a stocking filler or a Secret Santa gift. This is the Snowman 50p, brilliant uncirculated colour coin. It's a limited edition, and it with the 30% off, it comes down to $17.50. I love this. Isn't that brilliant?
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah. How do they do the colour?
So the colour is printed at the Royal Mint. So the coin is struck as you would normally strike a coin, and then they're taken for another process, which is essentially colour printing over the top of the stripe.
Well, actually, we've got some amazing videos we're going to show throughout. I mean, listen, watch till 3 a.m. anyway, because it's going to be a fascinating show once we get all the saily bit out of the way. Now, I have to say, I am a royalist. I thought the Queen was one of the most remarkable women ever to have lived, and given the what she endured as the monarch, because it was not an easy life, I'm sure, and she did it with grace and dignity for a very, very long time. And I've only ever known her as the monarch, and I remember singing "God Save the King" for the first time. It was very, very strange indeed, and so. We have this very, very special set for you. This is the decades of Queen Elizabeth II. It's that crown set, limited edition. You are saving 30%. That's $67.50, down from $225 to $157.50. I mean, I think I'm going to get me one of those, because we're going to talk about the royals and how the heads are struck, and there are some real interesting secrets actually about those. So this is throughout her reign. This was every different artist or every different rendition of her head that was on coins.
Absolutely. So you've got a crown from every decade that she reigned. So she reigned for 7 decades. So you've got a crown from every decade, but also it spans the 5 effigies. So the very first effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, when you look at it now, she looks so young.
Yeah.
It was drawn by Mary Gillick, and then all the way up to her final effigy that was drawn by Jodie Clark is on one of those crowns as well. So you really get a picture of her time in reign. Yeah, you own a piece of her reign, right?
Yeah. How much would a crown be now?
Well, I mean, for us, they're £5 face value. We sell them for $15.50. New, brilliant, uncirculated.
So they were back in the day when they were being used. They were basically
their face value a £5, yeah.
Amazing. I wonder how many flagons of ale you'd get for that. Now, remember, you have to shop, not at shopontv.co.uk, not even at royalmint.com. You're going to a subsection of Royal Mint. It's a secret back door just for you. Nobody knows about this. We have been very careful. It's not been released to any of the coupon sites or anything, although I imagine by now they're probably picking up on it. No, it's not. It's royalmint.com/TV. You must go there. We've put a QR code on the screen of all of our graphics, so you can just capture that, scan it with your phone, and that will take you straight to this sub-page. And if you scroll down, you'll see everything that we have in stock. Some things we have high stocks or high-ish, some we have low. Most of all bar 3 are limited editions, but even those that are not are special in their own right. Look at that amazing deed. Look at that night. Yeah, oh, sorry, it's going so quickly I can't really say very much, but we will get through all of these. Now, if you want to go and have a little look-see, have a little peruse, have a little shufty through, if there's anything particularly that you want us to show you, we're live till 3 a.m. and you have to check out in the show. I believe they're going to keep the lines open, as it were, that holding page and the checkout until 4 a.m. at the latest, just for any late checkout people checking out. But at past 4 a.m, that special page closes down. All the discounts all close down. Done, finished, end, over. Royal Mint do not discount. This is something that has never, really, that I'm aware of, has ever happened in the history of the Royal Mint. They have given massive discounts on a whole bunch of their premium items just for you, the TV viewers. So please tell everyone that loves collecting coins. Maybe you want to start collecting coins. Maybe these are going to be a really special heritage gift for somebody for Christmas. Whatever you do, it's not a question of putting it in your basket. It's not held. It's not reserved. Don't mean anything if it's in your basket. What means something is when you pay for it. So you must check out, complete your purchase, finish your order, pay, and then that's the only way you've secured your item. So it's all through the Royal Mint. I was thinking earlier, of all the places to check out, I can't think of anywhere more secure than the blooming Royal Mint.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. I think we're renowned for being the second most secure building in the UK, and the Tower of London is the most secure.
Yes,
so
yeah.
Absolutely, we are trusted around the world to hold people's bullion, and we're trusted by the Treasury and the monarch of this country to strike his coinage.
Yeah. And in fact, well, we'll come to this when we talk about the history in a minute. where the whole operation was run from for most of its life, actually, up until recently, from the Tower of London, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, let's introduce the silver. If you wind your mind back to when we first joined ITV, or ITV first, we joined them, or you joined us, whatever. We were talking about the silver sovereign. So we showed you the slightly lower priced item, which doesn't have. Oh, actually, let me show you what you do have when you buy this one at £100. So here we've got this little mark here, which again is called
a privy mark.
A privy mark. Why does it? Do you have any idea why it's called that?
I'm not really sure why it's called a privy mark, but essentially it's a very special mark that you add to a coin because it changes the design, so therefore it's a different mintage. In this instance, we've chosen to privy mark it with the Hanoverian coat of arms. Which is a nod to the fact that our gold sovereign this year is celebrating its 200 years ago was the first time that you saw the Hanoverian coat of arms, or the shield back design, numismatists called it, back in 1825. So the fact that the gold sovereign is celebrating this year that 200-year anniversary of the shield back design, first being on a sovereign, we've decided to privy mark this premium silver sovereign with the very same shield.
So this, the chief coin of the world, the sovereign, isn't it?
It absolutely is.
And just to show you, so there's the one we showed you that was £69.99. I think it was, or no, £79.99, although the discount made it 60 quid. That's not got the privy mark, but this one does have the privy mark. And let's just, again, regale the viewers with the reason why this is so... If you get either of those, it doesn't matter which one you get what's in your budget, or get them both if you so desire. But why is it so special that they buy this right now in 2025?
Because we've been striking the gold sovereign since 1489. In the Tower of London, under the reign of Henry VII, we were striking gold sovereigns. And actually, it's always carried, or since, about 300-400 years, it's carried the Prestrucci George and the Dragon design, which is the George and the Dragon design that you can see on this sovereign.
Right.
Now, this silver sovereign is exactly the same as her gold sister in terms of diameter, in terms of weight, but also in terms of tolerance. So it's got a very, very small tolerance with a blank, so you can absolutely guarantee you're getting the exact amount of metal that you expect. And that's why the sovereign is the chief coin of the world, because it's the most secure and it's got the shortest amount of tolerance. But the reason this is so special is because the Royal Mint have never done a silver sovereign before. So never. So you can own George and the Dragon now, but instead of immortalised in gold, you can own it immortalised in silver.
Also, how special... By the way, they come in these beautiful... I mean, for the price, which I think is relatively modest, especially with the discount, saving 25 quid, they come in this beautiful lacquered box. But you are going to be, when you buy this, whether you buy the one without the mark or whether you buy the one with the mark, what's it called again?
The privy mark.
I don't know why I keep forgetting the word privy.
Think privy purse, think privy.
Yes, exactly. It doesn't matter which one you buy. It really is just about budget. So the one without the privy mark is limited to 50,000, 15,000 to the one that does have the privy mark. Obviously, the one with the privy mark is slightly more exclusive, is slightly rarer. But you do what you can afford. At the end of the day, though, no matter which one you go for, you can still say, whenever you show that coin to somebody, this is one of the first ever minted silver sovereigns in history. The one that's going to go to you is one of the first that has ever been minted in, well, because they're limited anyway.
Yeah.
So I presume that, do they mint them all at the same time, or do they mint on demand? Or?
It depends. It absolutely depends on what coin we're striking. It absolutely depends. But what's so special is, yes, it's a numismatic first. It's the first time the Royal Mint have ever done a silver. But they all come certified, and you get a cert number, so you know that you have 301 or cert 5, for example, of that sovereign struck at the Royal Mint. So it genuinely is a date stamp in history.
And they're so collectible. Look, anyone who knows me, they know I love collectibles. We never say buy these for an investment. We're not investment brokers. We can't guarantee they're going to go up in value. But I do know that there is something very special from a family and a personal perspective. They become part of your own heritage. They become part of your own legacy. These are things that can be handed down from generation to generation to generation. And who knows in the future, what coins or what value is going to be put on coins. They are just extraordinary collectibles. These and stamps, I think. I just think they're indescribably wonderful. But remember, please go to royalmint.com/TV. Choose from everything. Now, I really would shop ahead if you can, because remember, as long as you check out by the end of the, or just after the end of the show, you're literally, once we go off air at 3 o'clock, now there is Leslie, our producer, has put the coin into her basket. She's proceeded to check out. It will be calculated at checkout. Okay, sorry, the saving will be added at checkout, and then your delivery will be estimated or calculated, because if your total order is up to £250, then it will be £3.99. If it's over £250, then it will be £9, and that's a special delivery because obviously it's a higher value. By the way, if you do buy any gold bullion, perchance tonight, that shipping on that is free. If they want to talk to somebody before they buy one of the more expensive items, is that something they can do as well?
So we don't have anyone manning the phones at
tonight.
No, we
stupid
absolutely
o'clock,
don't.
yeah.
But if you go through the website, you can find our phone number there. We will be back in the building 9 o'clock Monday morning. So if you want to speak to anyone about any of the stuff that we're showing you this evening, absolutely give us a call. We will answer the phone to you, but it'll be Monday morning now, because obviously most of my colleagues are fast asleep.
Indeed, indeed. Now, I know that will be past the sort of 4 a.m. curfew. Do we suggest they order it first and then call them?
Absolutely, absolutely.
You can always cancel their order if you...
Absolutely, yeah. If you've got any problems with your order, give us a call on Monday and we will absolutely sort it out. But yes, to bag the deal, I would say you absolutely, because 3 o'clock that discount code is disappearing.
It is literally that. It will be gone. Check it if you want. Well, as I say, I think they might, I shouldn't have even told you really, but I think they're allowing to afford just for...
You might give a bit of grace,
a little bit of grace, but certainly that's it. Right, okay, what do we have next? The two sovereigns. Now, this is, I mean, amazing. It comes in this wonderful lacquered box, beautiful. It's like a walnut, or is it?
It's walnut.
It is walnut.
It
That's
is
probably
walnut.
why it's like walnut.
Good guess.
Yeah.
It is walnut.
Always go with walnut. You're almost always right. It's got that beautiful crest on the top, coat of arms, and then inside, look at this. There is your certificate of authenticity. This happens to be 005. Each individual one obviously will have its own individual unique number. And then inside you get this little beautiful sort of pull tag, and you have both of these. Now, these are full sovereigns. They are the real deal, and there is something quite remarkable about these. Honestly, for £2,065, because you're saving 10%, the Royal Mint don't discount ever. This is I think it's it is a first, really, isn't it, to do this number of discounts ever in one go?
Absolutely, yeah. It's not something we ordinarily would do.
No, so you numismatists will know, you don't save £229.50 off a set of sovereigns like this. You do now, but only now, or only up until 3 a.m. So, Steph, if I were a less than honest person, these would go missing at the end of the night. They really would. But do you want to tell us just a quick bit about these?
Absolutely. So this set brings together the 2025 gold sovereign, which is shield back, because we are celebrating 200 years since the first shield back sovereign made its way into the Royal Mint's collection in 1825. So you've got an 1825 sovereign, so that was struck under the reign of George IV.
Yes.
And what the Royal Mint does is it sources that sovereign into the Royal Mint. We will authenticate it, say absolutely it isn't a counterfeit. It was made here at the Royal Mint, probably at the Tower of London at the time.
Amazing.
And we've paired that then with the 2025 sovereign as a set.
So this would have been made at the Tower of London?
Yes.
Hundreds of years ago?
Hundreds. It were between 1825 and 1830 would
a couple hundred years.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And amazing. Extraordinary. We're going to show you some video because I want to kind of give you a little bit of flavour about the Royal Mint. We've got some amazing photography that we'll show you throughout the course of the show. As I say, just please do tell your friends, if you know anyone who collects coins or loves collectibles, they must tune in now. This is a real event. I've been trying to sort of promote it all over the last sort of week or so. By the way, this is like a generic sort of pressing of a coin, isn't it? So
absolutely. So what we're seeing here is actually some of our art designers designing D-Day, because making a coin, immortalising an image in metal isn't as easy as it may sound.
No.
So what you do have to do is you have to make sure that you elevate that design, you make sure that it strikes onto metal perfectly, and it's a real art. We work with incredibly talented people. But yeah, what you're seeing now is the coins in production. They get struck under around 120 tonnes worth of pressure. So you think about 80 African elephants stamping down onto a coin in order to strike it.
Me flopping down on the sofa.
Because, you know, essentially you have to press that metal hard enough to bring that design out of it.
To emboss it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a real art. So what you're seeing here is some behind-the-scenes footage, which you don't often get to see at the Royal Mint, I have to say. It is a very secure site.
It is so secure and so secretive that we were allowed to visit, and for the next show we will actually take our cameras. We just couldn't. It's so secure we couldn't organise it in time.
Absolutely.
But there is also so little footage of what goes on inside them for obvious reasons. I mean, there have been many attempts over the years, I'm sure, to steal the plates and and the crown jewels and all that kind of stuff too. But actually in the I was reading earlier that during certain times of depression, silver coins, and I mean, certainly the ones that were in circulation, there was a practice called clipping, which was that people would clip bits of silver off, or even gold, off the edge of the coin, so that they could steal a bit of Her Majesty's money. Incredible, isn't it? Really?
Absolutely. And when we come on to talk about the military sets later, the currency conflict set is really interesting because during conflicts, during the World Wars, it changed the shape of currency, almost forever. And it,
what was it called, debasement? Or
absolutely.
They took, all the gold coins they took out of circulation to help pay for the war.
Because they wanted the gold. The government needed to melt the gold in order to pay for the war effort, essentially. But we have, coins back in our museum that have literally been cut in half because someone wanted to spend half a sovereign, for example, or half the gold. Yeah, absolutely. We are going back years and years and years, but people used to cut them themselves. Yeah.
Wow. I know in the old days the bobbly bit around the outside, and the reason they've got a knurled edge is so that it's to show that they haven't been clipped or they haven't been sort of or stolen, or what's the word I'm looking for, taken from in any way.
Tampered with. And, so all of our coins have high security features, and some of them have security features that we won't talk about, live on air.
Oh, really? Why?
Absolutely not.
That's away all the secrets.
The pound coin I think it has something like 21 security features, the pound coin. Some of them you can see, some of them you can't. Some of them I can tell you about, some of them I definitely can't.
That is extraordinary. We've moved on to the snowman. This is something for everybody. Maybe it's your first coin. It's just such a special thing to buy somebody as a gift. Little stocking stuffer, little extra something. Maybe it could be something for the desk at work. It could be a wonderful Secret Santa gift. And there's Charles. Now I had an email. We're going to get into this because somebody asked, do all of the monarchs' heads, do they all face the same way? And I'm showing you the wrong product. I do apologise. That we'll come to in a moment. This is the one that's the uncirculated one. So we have a circulated and uncirculated. Thank you for pointing that out.
You're welcome.
Here is the uncirculated. So what's the difference between the two?
So this is a brilliant uncirculated.
I did that deliberately.
Yeah, of course. It's a segue. I get it. So a brilliant uncirculated is a strike-in standard. So essentially it is struck to the same standard as your coins in your pocket. It's not struck to proof standard, because with proof standards we are hand polishing.
What does proof standard mean?
Proof standard is it's a strike-in standard, but essentially the due care and attention that is taken to strike a proof coin, we will take 10 times the amount of time to strike a proof coin as we would a brilliant uncirculated.
So it's up to the standards of circulated coins, whereas some collectibles might just be, they just look nice.
Absolutely.
They're not necessarily the right standard.
Yeah.
I see.
So BU, or brilliant uncirculated, is sort of, coins in your pocket standard. However, it is slightly higher because it's never been circulated, so it will not have any damage to it. Still very, very collectible as an item.
So, as it says there, for millions of families, gathering to watch the snowman has become an annual Christmas tradition. Based on Raymond Briggs's 1978 picture book of the same name, the animated film first aired in 1982 and has been televised at Christmas each year ever since. And this, I love the whole presentation of this. It's a little picture booklet. If you've just had a newborn in the family, this would be, I think, because coins are quite a big gift for newborns, aren't they?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you should always cross a newborn's palm with silver, shouldn't you? Isn't that the tradition? Yeah, absolutely. Right. So if you're looking for a gift, I would say, the snowman silver is absolutely exquisite. But this is, it really is a Christmas tradition for most families around the UK. Yes. Watching that wordless film to beautiful music, beautiful animations. And I read today, actually, that Raymond Briggs illustrated the entire book using just coloured pencils.
Yeah.
And you can really tell when you see that pencil. Look at that.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut across.
No, of course, no.
That's amazing. So many tons of pressure. There it is. Oh, looky, look. I thought they'd have gone through like a conveyor belt on it, but it's not, is it?
No, absolutely not. No, I mean, the amount of due care and attention and love and blood and sweat and tears that goes into every single coin that comes out of the Royal Mint. Yeah. I've never worked for a business like it. You know, there is no other business in the world like the Royal Mint.
No, no.
But the amount of love and care that every member of our team puts into striking coins, because each coin is a work of art. Every single coin is slightly different because as you use a set of dies, the dies will wear slightly, you know, so every single coin is unique that comes out of the Royal Mint. But it's really, really important. One of the things that we take very, very seriously is authenticity. Are we being authentic to what we're putting on a coin? Because that is really, really important to us. So to bring to life something like the Raymond Briggs snowman, it was an internal artist actually called Robin Shaw that brought that illustration to life onto coin. And again, the process from an idea of what you want to put on a coin to bringing that coin to market is around 18 months.
Good Lord. Well, I can believe it. And of course, if you go back to the old days, they would literally have carved them, I presume, in wax, wouldn't they, and sculpted?
Well, they were hand hammering them in between the walls of the Tower of London. They were hand hammering coins. That's how we started.
To make the die, what would they have made that from?
So they were literally sort of chiselling a die out and then hand hammering the coinage.
That is, I mean, it is extraordinary. I was very lucky when I moved into, I forget which house it was during my childhood, and there was a box of old World War One. Was it World War One or two? I can't remember. But pennies, the big pennies, and I used to love playing with those things because it's like you're holding a bit of history in your hands. These are so special. Only few people will ever get to own these. But remember, you have to shop. Not at ShopOnTV tonight. You're going to. This is one of our partners that we have managed. We have worked for months to bring the Royal Mint, the actual Royal Mint, to you. The Royal Mint do not discount ever. They're just known for that. And tonight they are. They've broken their tradition. They have just for you, but just for 3 hours and 3 hours only. It's now down to, I don't know what time it is. 2 hours left. You've got 2 hours left. I don't know where the time's going. That after the strike of 3, it's literally sort of make your mind up time, and then I think they will keep the website open for a little bit longer afterwards, but no longer than 4 o'clock. It will cut off. The page will be gone. The discounts will be gone. By the way, speaking of the page, we've got obviously some amazing tech experts in the background at Royal Mint who've been diligently working because they've just added the discounts now to the landing page. You can scan the QR code as well, by the way, and there it is. Look, with the discounts, you can see the discount prices straight away. If there's anything you'd like to know more about, just let us know. studio@shopontv.co.uk. Drop us an email. Have a browse, and then if you come, Leslie's our producer, just say, Leslie, can you ask Rob and Steph to show me this, that, or something else? Any questions you have that you want to ask before you make your purchase, these are unheard of discounts. If you've got friends and family, I know it's early in the morning, but for goodness sake, they'll thank you. But if they're a fanatical collector like me, and I knew that there was a Star Wars show or a Harry Potter show or a Star Trek, and I missed it, I'd rather have been woken up at 1 o'clock in the morning and told it was on than not. So, but do make your mind up quickly on the items you want. You've got to check out, because if you don't, as I say, after the show is over, those prices go away forever. Right, okay, so let's move on to this is the one that I very deliberately showed earlier. As a bit of a tease, this is this is the Silverproof Colour Coin Limited Edition 50p from the Snowman 2024. It's normally £75, and it's with the discount you get it £15 off, just 60 quid. I mean, that's a good discount at any day of the week. Again, always with all the presentations of the coins, they are double-sided so that you can see front and back. Again, I still think this is a very affordable piece. But what's the difference between this one and the one we just showed?
So this one is struck onto fine silver. So it's absolutely pure silver. It's a silver 50p.
Yep.
It's gone through the same process in terms of the colour printing over the top.
Yeah.
It's the same design. So you see the beautiful snowman putting the star on top of the Christmas tree, which is taking a very iconic scene from the snowman and putting it onto a beautiful piece of metal.
Yeah.
It's encased in an acrylic block for two reasons, really. Number one is to make sure that we protect that coin forever, that it doesn't tarnish. And then second of all, so that it can be displayed. Because lots of our collectors want to touch and feel their coins, but lots of our collectors want to, you know, put them on display in their bedrooms or in their home offices. So people can do what they want with that, but it's very displayable, if that's a word.
It is now.
Is it a word?
We'll
Displayable.
Yeah,
let's run with it. Let's run with displayable.
This is now. You're not going to take this apart, but actually the encapsulations on most of the other coins, you can take the coin out if you want to. Again, we don't recommend you do, but you know, bona fide numismatists who know what they're doing, they might want to have just to touch it and feel it. Are all 50p silver?
No, not all 50p. So I mean, this one is base metal. So when it's a brilliant uncirculated, generally it is a base metal, which is an alloy.
I mean the ones in circulation. Sorry.
No. They're all base metal. So it's an alloy called cupronickel. So it's a more affordable, because obviously if they were all silver, then their metal value would be worth far more than their face value.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, because but the currency pound, it is based on a pound of silver. Isn't
Absolutely. I mean, the sovereign is got a pound face value.
Yeah.
Yet actually the metal content, you know, is 900 times more than its face value.
So that's inflation for you.
Don't try and get change for your sovereign down the shops, guys, right? That is a no-no.
Definitely not. £60 is your price. Again, what a wonderful stocking stuffer, or a Christmas, what do you call it, Secret Santa type thing. You know, whatever you like. Or you just want to treat yourself to something beautiful on the mantelpiece, beautiful on your study bookshelf, maybe for something for the office. Also something that, well, you know, what do you buy the lady or gentleman that's got everything? You buy them something that very few other people have. And again, what was the limited edition number on this one again, did we know?
On the snowman, let me
yeah.
double check. So the BU colour is 25,000.
25,000, right.
And the 50p silver, only 7,500.
Only 7,500 on
to be
on the
made.
silver one, ever.
Ever.
And do you break the mould, or I mean that's what they used to do with a lot of collectibles. They literally destroy the mould once the limited editions. I guess the Royal Mint's fairly trustworthy, isn't it?
Well, we have a vault for our dies.
Do you
So we have
really?
an entire vault where we keep copies of all our dies. So I'm sure some of our dies are recycled and reused, obviously, but we always keep a set of dies because the museum likes to keep absolutely everything in our history. The museum is the most fascinating place. You know, it's the other side of the Mint wall, so it's, you know, by invitation only. Wow, what a place. It always takes my breath away every time I go there. But we keep a set of every die we've ever struck a coin with.
Amazing. Since that day one, basically.
Since day one.
See, this is where I get really, really patriotic, and I feel, you know, I do feel wonderfully British doing a show.
We're good at tradition, and we're really good at pomp and ceremony, aren't we, the Brits?
Yes, we are.
And that makes me very proud.
And I think that's you know, that's what, when we have a wave a flag and we have a ceremony, and that's what I love about the monarchy, you know, that they do attract a good crowd.
They absolutely do.
If nothing else. Now, let's have, this is just a must-have. Anyone can own one of these. It's really affordable. Look, at 22 quid, the Royal Mint, I'm amazed. I'm not sure. I'm amazed that they went, do we really need to discount £22? Like, hello. I mean, but, by the way, can I also add that the Royal Mint do ship worldwide. Now, there are some countries that are restricted. It's on their website. But you could actually send these as gifts all around the world if you so desired. But look at this, you know, a silver sixpence, or a silver sixpence for £17.60 comes in a beautiful. Sorry, that one. I've done it again, haven't I? Thank you. Maybe they can just give me everything the other way round next time. I had a feeling. This is, so we have two versions. So that's a little magnetic. Oh, yeah, because, of course, this is silver, not gold. I didn't notice the coin inside was gold, you see. celebrate with a sixpence. All right, so come on then, lay it on us. What are some of the other incredible or the other great reasons that you might own a sixpence?
So the design of this sixpence, so this is a brand new design for this sixpence for 2024.
Yeah.
And it's based on, it's sort of inspired by the 1928 sixpence, but the floral, all the flowers on it are symbolic of the special occasions where sixpences are traditionally used or gifted. So you've got a calla lily on there, which is symbolic for marriage. Right. And that goes back to the saying, so something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue, and a sixpence in her shoe. So every bride, I mean, when I got married, I didn't know about the last bit until I kind of Googled it, and then I was, oh, right, okay, I desperately need a sixpence in my shoe. And I wore it under my shoe because it was too painful to walk down the aisle with a sixpence in my shoe. So that's there for marriage. So if you know someone who's getting married, or it's just a nice wedding gift, but it's a really nice nod. I bought one for myself when I got married, and then I bought one for all my, my sisters and my sister-in-laws when they got married. I made sure that they went down the aisle with a sixpence in their shoe. And then you've got an iris on that design, which is symbolic for a christening. So again, we know that we should always cross a baby's palm with silver when they're born, so that they'll have forever luck and they'll have wealth in the future. Right. So it's a great christening gift, but it's also very synonymous with Christmas, isn't it? So there's a tradition called Stir Up Sunday, which actually is a bit of a dying tradition in the UK today, and we're kind of campaigning to bring this back because it's a beautiful story around when you are, back in the day when people weren't shop buying their puddings, they were making Christmas puddings in the house. Yeah. Stir Up Sunday is the Sunday before Advent, and the entire family would gather in a house and they would pop a silver sixpence into the Christmas pudding mix. And every member of the family would have a couple of stirs of this Christmas pudding mixture. And as they were doing it, they would make a wish. And the tradition goes that when you are around your Christmas table on Christmas Day, whoever gets that silver sixpence in their Christmas pudding, their wish will come true.
Did everyone chew very carefully, just
in case you break a tooth? Absolutely. But it's a beautiful tradition. I'm sure you agree. It's a beautiful tradition. It is.
Something as simple. Do you know what? Can I tell you? I hate to say this. I don't know what's going on with the world, but last night I bought a lamb doner wrap, a sausage in batter, a couple of sausage in batter, and a couple of fish cakes, because I left some for the next day. Have a guess how much to be delivered to my home?
Oh gosh, I wouldn't like to hazard a guess, because I know how much my Nando's costs me these days. I mean, we're talking 30 odd pounds, maybe?
28 pounds.
Wow.
Which if you went up to the director's part of the world, to Grimsby, you probably get for a fiver. 28 quid. Unbelievable. So, but the point I'm trying to make is that, look, well, most of it went last night, the rest of it's going tonight. 1760 for something that not only is a piece of historic significance, but something that somebody will... You buy this as a christening gift, you make sure that they look after that. As adults, they will appreciate that. Especially if you're a grandma or great-grandma and you buy it for them, in the latter years when you have moved on to pastors new, shall we say, it's a brilliant, brilliant way of being remembered. It's a legacy.
Yeah. They will get that out and remember you for gifting it to them. Or that was given to me at my christening or my wedding, for example.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a beautiful gift. The other thing I'd like to say about this is that we've taken off any specific holiday wording here, because we don't want to talk about Christmas, because for those of us that don't celebrate Christmas or may celebrate other religious holidays around the same time as Christmas, they can also buy this. That's why we've chosen to take the word Christmas off the packaging.
Oh, lovely.
Because even though it is synonymous to that Stir Up Sunday and your Christmas pudding, actually, you could choose to purchase this even if you don't celebrate Christmas for other religious holidays around that time.
Oh, it's brilliant. It really is. It's so beautifully presented. Plus, also got an envelope. I mean, you could post it to somebody, couldn't
Absolutely.
you?
Yeah.
Now, if you wanted to step it up from the silver sixpence, and you saw it said the 925, so it's sterling silver. If you wanted to go gold, then we have the gold option for you as well. Again, beautifully presented in the outer box, and then you get this wonderful walnut case. And this, have a look at this. Are you ready? Now, it's normally £5.90. We have brought it to you tonight. Again, this is not something that, well, the Royal Mint don't discount ever really generally, but on something as special as this, on a gold sixpence, discounting gold. Gold has an inherent market value, and you're now taking money off. £59. That's a very generous 10% off. Normally £5.90. You get it for £5.31. The sheer cost of the gold alone, it's probably worth it.
Well, it's Black Friday, Rob. We have to treat people.
You do, and you have.
And this is really rare, right? So we are only ever going to mint 200 of these.
200? So if 200 people bought these tonight, that's it.
That's it.
No more will exist.
They're gone. The 2024 gold sixpence, 200 maximum.
If there are 200 people watching who want one of these, I'd be quick. Now, bear in mind, the show ends at 3 a.m. and so do the special offers. You've only got an hour and 50 minutes left to take advantage of those discounts. They will stop. The Royal Mint were very, we had to really beg and get on our hands and knees, didn't we, to do something incredibly special just for you, just for the ITV viewers and STV viewers. This was not released in a magazine. You could have put this in a magazine. You could have advertised this nationwide. I mean, anyone can discount and advertise and make a lot of money. But that's not what this is about. This is about it being a special event, and it's kind of a secret numismatists event. Not many people knew about this. There will be numismatists who will find out about this posthumously and will go, oh, blimey, I missed that. And I don't know. I mean, we will try and get the Royal Mint back on a regular basis, but it's not something that the Royal Mint normally do, is it?
No, absolutely not.
As a principle. £531. Now your P&P will be if you buy one of them, it will be £9. Anything over £250 is going to be £9 P&P, and anything under £250 will be £3.99. That's how it works, and it is a special delivery as well. It's really busy across the board. The Gruffalo's Child has had a lot of interest. We're going to come up. In fact, we'll do that now, shall we? We'll do that right this very minute. And then we've also had some requests for the D-Day and the Memorial coin set. Wait till you see the D-Day set. It's just extraordinary. You can see all the savings online right now. And it is, a really great selection of all the different coins that you could possibly think of getting across the board. Just amazing. Just amazing. I want it all. I'd actually, if I didn't have such a wonderful job at ShopOnTV, I would love to work for the Royal Mint. I really would. It's just one of those places that it's of historic significance. It's
really special. It's a really special place. When you get there, I mean, I've worked for the Royal Mint for 3 years now, and like I say, I've never worked anywhere quite like it. Yeah. It's got so much history. There are so many. I mean, I probably know about 5% of its history. I haven't been there for 3 years, and being in a sales role, I need, there are things I need to know. Yeah. But there is some. I should watch out for that. But it's such a special place. It really is incredible.
Now, it's interesting because a lot of people say, oh, the Royal Mint, that's where you make the money, don't you? But your answer to that is always...
Well, we absolutely do make the coinage. So the reason we exist is to serve His Majesty's Treasury and to strike the coinage of King Charles III, but every monarch since Alfred the Great. So since 886, we've been striking coinage for every single monarch.
But all the paper money... But that didn't come until a lot later, did it?
No. The paper money was much later. But we don't do that.
Because it's not actually money. It's a promissory note. It says, I promise to pay the bearer, and et cetera, et cetera. And it's basically the equivalent amount in, silver, sterling silver, right?
It's an IOU.
That's why it's an IOU. It's pound sterling. That's where sterling silver comes from, or the sterling comes from, the fact it's sterling silver. But yeah, it is an IOU. It's a chitty. It's, the only real money is coins, technically speaking. All right, sorry, I'm getting it. See, this is the problem with this show. You have to. There's just not enough time to tell these stories and indulge. So here we've got the Gruffalo's Child. Oh, looky look! This is the 2024 brilliant uncirculated colour coin. It is a limited edition. Do you know how many?
20,000.
And that's it.
That's it.
Worldwide.
Yeah, for the brilliant uncirculated colour, there's 20,000. For the silver, it's 7. Yeah. And the 40th ounce gold, 2024. because they were struck in 2024.
Of
We've
course,
decided to make 2024 of them.
So we'll show all of these. Now, so I mean, this is, what again, a brilliant way to own something special without breaking the banks. Unfortunately, I've worked in the collectibles business for a long, long time, and there are some people that just come up with, they manufacture ways of making things sort of rare and collectible, and then charge a fortune for it. But sometimes it doesn't have to be. I mean, look at how much money you get off here. 30%. For £14.70, you get this beautiful presentation. Again, the whole thing is just delightful, and it's very affordable, but it is also of significant collector's importance, isn't it? Or
Yeah,
collectible
absolutely.
importance, yeah.
So we're marking the 20th anniversary of the publication of The Gruffalo's Child,
Yeah.
which was written by Julia Donaldson and illustrated by Axel Scheffler.
Yeah.
And it's the sequel to The Gruffalo, and those two books are the biggest grossing books in the UK of all time. You know, they will...
Even more than Harry Potter.
Well, I'm talking about rhyming couplets for younger children, I think.
Well, don't worry, we've covered you for Harry Potter anyway.
Yeah, we got your Harry Potter sorted for later.
Harry Potter's coming up later.
But yeah, it's the 20th anniversary, which is unbelievable. And I read my son these books. We still read them today. He's almost 10 now, and we're still reading Julia Donaldson's books.
So we moved on. So if you buy this one, it comes in this box. So this is your silver-proof limited edition. So the proofing means it's to the standards of circulated coins. Yeah.
So a proof coin is a higher standard than circulating
Is it
coin.
really?
Yeah.
Is
So
it
a proof
really?
coin. So all our dies will be hand polished at the Royal Mint, and a great care and attention is taken. And for every one that we strike, we'll probably put one to the side, and then one will make its mark. One will be good enough. One will go to the side. One will be good enough, because we are very, very particular about how they strike. Have we got enough high relief on that coin? Is it making properly? Literally every due care and attention will be taken by the press operator.
So it's made to the highest standards possible.
The proof is the
Highest
standard possible. Highest standard possible is proof.
We can show you this being made, actually. Here it is. I love it. You put in the blank. Who cuts the blanks?
So the blanks, it depends. Some of the blanks we make on site ourselves, some of the blanks we buy in from another supplier, but it depends what...
The gold and the silver, are they done on site? Or?
It depends. It depends on what specification, what denomination we're striking.
So they make, obviously they have to make them to very high standards as well.
Absolutely.
And prove that if it's silver, it has to be 925 silver, and if it's gold, it has to be... And presumably, are they 24 karat gold, the gold coins?
So no, the sovereign is 22 karat gold.
yeah.
The majority of our coins are 24 karat gold. So 4 nines pure gold, essentially, the majority of our coins. It's the sovereign that's a slight alloy because it has that history around it. But most of our coins are 4 nines fine gold.
Unbelievable. I love that, again, this comes in the acrylic block. This has got a slight frosting to it as well, which I like, especially on cinnamon buns. But that presumably is a different sort of process, isn't it, to get the frosting?
Yeah, so to get the frosting, you have to build that into the die. So, we've come a long way since hand hammering coins at the Royal Mint. We now use different technology. Lots of our dies are lasered initially, and then they'll be hand polished by a team of master craftspeople that we have, because they might want to hand polish it just to elevate the design slightly, to get a certain high relief on certain things. So, the amount of due care and attention and love that goes into making these coins, but the frosting is built into the die. And then is made when the coin is struck, essentially. And then with the same as the brilliant uncirculated, we are printing over the top then of the frost.
So again, this is, even at £60, it's a limited edition to, how many was it again?
So the Gruffalo's Child sent 7,000 of the 50p silver.
50p silver, but also because it is a celebratory release, so it's celebrating 20 years of the Gruffalo's Child. So it's not just, oh, well, let's just make some what do you call it? Take some IPs and make something out of it. It's marking a special occasion.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm trying to say. Just gorgeous. It's so nice. Comes in that wonderful little box as well. But there's more, ladies and gentlemen. We're not complete. By the way, we had an email. Who was the email from? Viv from New Barnet. I know Barnet very well. She says she's enjoying the show. She's ordered the snowman for her new baby grandson. Oh, brilliant.
Congratulations, Viv.
Yeah. Buy them for yourselves, buy them for grandchildren, buy them for, for weddings, for births, for any celebrations. For I love you. I think you could get some sort of romantic gesture out of a sixpence if you're clever.
Why not?
You know what I mean? Endow it with your love and give it to your to that special person. In your
Or if they're really special, buy them a silver sovereign.
yeah,
That's what you need to.
yeah,
If they're really special and you really want to show them your love,
silver
sovereign.
And if you really, really love them even more and more, then get them the gold.
Get them the gold.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know where that gold set's gone. My bag, is that right? Now here we have. So we're sticking with the Gruffalo's Child. This is so. I hate to use this word, but it's so cute.
It is cute.
It really is super cute. Here it is. Come in. Let's show you what we're talking about. It's a gold-proof coin. It's one of the dinkiest coins I've ever seen. 89.95. It's a 40th of an ounce of pure 24-karat gold.
Yeah, it's 4 nines fine gold.
4 nines fine gold. Now, I'm amazed actually that they would have gold coins in circulation. Did they ever do? Was that ever a thing? Or
Yeah. I mean, the sovereign.
They're so soft.
Yeah, they are. I mean, the gold is an extremely malleable metal.
That's why they used to bite the coins, isn't it? Because they were malleable enough to. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can mark gold with a tissue.
Can you?
It's that soft. You can mark gold with a tissue. Yeah. You have to be very, very careful with gold-proof coins.
I'm just thinking of all the wonderful ways that you could use this. You could embed it into something, or it's a brilliant price. You're buying a piece of gold. You're buying it, but also the Gruffalo's Child. I must say, for IP, for intellectual property, and we know that when you deal with these various companies that you get the intellectual property from, though they can be real sticklers. I know. I can't say who it is, but we had a particular brand partner that we were going to feature very heavily tonight. I had mentioned them at some point, but they're just such sticklers for what they will allow people to show and how they. And in the end we couldn't do them, which was a great shame. So we do have Harry Potter though coming up. We do have the Gruffalo's Child, and we do have the Snowman.
We do.
So who needs space-based collectibles anyway? I love this. Look. Oh, I love it. 999.9 AU, which is is gold.
It's gold, yeah.
Yes, that's right. On the periodic table. I love it. It's really brilliant. Great little keepsake. Again, a great little first child's first, whichever way you want to put it.
Yeah, and it's, it is a piece of gold. It's a 40th of an ounce of gold. And one of the reasons why we've done some of these smaller coins is because the price of gold is, pretty much at an all-time high. And if you look at the trajectory of gold, it's only going one way. Gold only ever goes up, really. It's volatile as it goes up, but generally. So actually, this is an entry-level project. If you want to own a piece of gold and put it in your bottom drawer, or you want to gift, I mean, the gift of gold, it's really precious.
Did we bring the gold bar tonight? I don't think we did, didn't we?
No, we haven't got the bar.
Maybe a future show, but there was this wonderful little gold bar.
The Christmas bar, the bullion bar, it's beautiful.
It is on the Royal Mint website. Look, by the way, if you've just tuned in, you have to shop to get these discounts. They are not on the main Royal Mint website. You have to go to royalmint.com/TV, and you can scan the QR code. That will take you straight there. But you must check out before 3 a.m. If you don't check out, if you do not pay, then those deals are going away. They literally will. This page will be inactive by 4 a.m. And if you haven't checked out and paid, if you try to come back tomorrow and go to the Royal Mint and put it into their website with, well, they just won't. There's no discount code. These discounts are applied automatically at checkout for you. If you don't do it before the show's over, you won't get the discounts. It really is it's a show special. So I just hope that enough people are watching to take advantage of that. So check out now, please, if you will. There's everything that we have. And again, if there's something specifically that you would like us to show you, be really happy just to say, oi, Rob, come on, mate, I want to see so-and-so. I'm here to serve. Please. All you have to do is email studio@shopontv.co.uk. Right, now, something that is very special to me, D-Day, I mean, obviously I wasn't there, but I'm of a generation where my parents were kids when the war was taking place. But I've also had the opportunity to speak to grandparents who were very much there. Mm-hmm. My dad always says people these days, they say they're stressed or depressed. During the war, you knew what depressed or stressed was when you came home from the cinema and your house wasn't there anymore, and that's what people lived with back in those days. It's incredible. So I'm incredibly respectful of anybody who served. Everything that happened at that time is I mean, it was a horrific time, let's face it.
It was.
You know.
And I think there's certain dates in history that shaped and altered how we live today.
Yeah.
And D-Day, the 6th of June 1944, is one of those days that has shaped the way we live today. And we had to mark the 80th anniversary of D-Day.
Well, it also showed the ingenuity of and the resilience of Britain as a nation.
Absolutely.
Because if you think about it, against all the might of the forces that were coming at us, this little island, all right, yes, we did have a little bit of help from America in the end, but by and large, it wasn't just our resilience, but there were things like Operation Mincemeat. There's a great film about that actually as well, and there were all these different operations and really clever things that we as Brits did that baffled and confused the enemy, and led ultimately. And D-Day was it was like the final push almost, wasn't it? That led to victory. I mean, it's such an important time. Anyone who is a sort of a war collector, anyone who was, if you're old enough. I suppose there will still be people around who were there. They'll be of advancing years.
Absolutely. There's a handful of veterans. We actually made sure that we gifted a coin to all the living veterans when we did these. We absolutely did. Amazing. Because, I mean, one of the reasons we did it is because, they showed such immense bravery. And, there is a saying, isn't it? They die today for our tomorrow. We just couldn't let that date go past without marking that occasion and saying paying our respects. For
sure. There's we've got some wonderful video again. So these days it's all done with CAD software and such to make these designs rather than carving out bits of metal or wax or whatever. But this is the process to create a coin essentially.
Absolutely. I mean, some of our artists do still use traditional plaster.
Do they?
To mould. So not all of them are on CAD drawings. Some of them we still have some traditionalists. And actually when we come and talk about the King's effigy, the sculptor Martin Jennings who did that is still a plaster sculptor.
So it was carved from plaster?
Wax
initially, then a plaster cast made.
So he would have started with a sketch essentially and then moved it on to plaster. So the first time we saw it was in plaster.
I've never heard of carving directly from plaster. That's incredible.
But the design of the D-Day coin, I think, is really poignant as well, right? Because what it shows is the soldiers coming off the landing craft, risking their lives to wade ashore onto those Normandy beaches at the south of France. And for me, when I looked at the design first of all, it took my breath away a bit because I thought, can you imagine what was going through their mind at that point when you come off that landing craft? So the design for me, I think, is absolutely spectacular.
I think Steven Spielberg, with Saving Private Ryan, the one thing that film did is it showed in a way that's never been shown in cinema before, I don't think, the history, or so not the history, but what it would be like, the experience of landing in that sort of situation, and what I mean, it was just terrible,
horrendous,
absolutely. I mean, it was just a question of numbers, really, because it was a bit like during the First World War. Everyone who went over the top, they were going to die.
Absolutely,
and they must have known it.
Yeah, and they would have thought, I'm facing almost certain death here, but I'm fighting for my country. There's 132,000 ground troops and 18,000 paratroopers all landing on those beaches at one time. It's just, it's mind-blowing, really. David Lawrence did the design for us, which, like I said, took my breath away when I first saw it. But we also worked really closely with the Imperial War Museum, because I come back to authenticity is what we're about. It's really, really important. So in terms of, are the uniforms right? Are the helmets right? Are the rifles right? Everything is accurate, and the Imperial War Museum, signed off on it to make sure that we were absolutely authentic to a scene that would have happened on that date.
Would you do us a favour and also regale us, if you will, with the sort of the facts about the ownership of the mint as well, and how involved are the monarchy with the Royal Mint to this day?
So very involved is the truth. So people say to me, does the King really sign off on every single coin? And the answer to that is simple: yes, he does.
Yeah, he does.
So
is it still owned by the Royal Mint, owned by the monarchy?
So the Royal Mint is owned by the government essentially.
I see.
The palace have a huge say, because the King's effigy is on every single coin that we make, and the coin has, and the King, His Majesty King Charles III, has to sign off on it, because essentially he's putting his effigy against everything we make. So it's a treat that I can sit here and go, everything I sell is signed off by the King at the Privy Council, which is a standing meeting. Nobody sits at the Privy Council. Everyone stands up. It's a quick 20-minute... The Privy Council still stand. It's a 20-minute meeting. The King will see the designs and he will say, yes, I'm happy for my effigy to be used on this, and therefore it can be UK currency.
That is amazing.
Fascinating, isn't it?
Again, we'll get onto the fact that do the monarchs face the same way? There's a very great story when we get to our royal section. So what are we doing now, Leslie? The little gold one. So this is a 40th of an ounce of pure 24. Well, as pure as, that's why they always say 999.9.
99.9.
Because, you know, who knows, there might be a tiny natural impurity in these things. I love this. And now, that's not the right, well, that's not obviously okay, let me show you that. That's that. Right, so there is for normally 1355, but again, the Royal Mint don't discount. You don't get discounts on this sort of thing normally. To get 10%, which is 135.50 off, that's only up until 3 a.m. And this is very special, very, very special indeed. Comes in the beautiful walnut box. It is 1,219.50.
And only 350 of those, Rob. 350.
So like with the gold, was it the gold sovereign we were talking about earlier that had 200?
Yeah, that was a set. Yeah, so the set was 200. These are 350. Yeah.
Once those have gone, they will never be made again. So
and I think this is one that's kind of almost sold out to my knowledge as well. This, I mean, you know, D-Day was exceptionally successful for us because of the theme. And if you're a collector, if you just want to pay homage to the people who served for our country during that time, or you just want to mark the event, you know, it's we've sold a lot of these already, so I'm not sure how many are left. So you better be quick if you want it.
So you're getting, again, pure gold, right?
Absolutely, pure gold.
What does 50p weigh? Do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head. I'm sorry, you may have found something I don't know.
Blimey, oh my.
I would hazard a guess, but I'm not going to.
But I mean, at 12.19.50 again, to actually get a discount on gold. This is essentially, I mean, it's not gold bullion, it's not a bar of gold, but it is gold.
Yeah.
Now, if gold goes up, and again, we can't say that you buy these for investment. Obviously, we don't have any expertise in that. But if gold value goes up, it's not really going to go down, is it? The chances are, who knows what might happen? You might find that what you've paid for this, that the value of gold is higher at some point, and you know. That's all I'm going to say about that. But of course, ultimately, it's not just about what it's made from. It's about what it's commemorating. And again, I love that wonderful frosted head of. You know, I've never really had, because I'm sorry to say, I don't carry cash. Haven't for years.
For shame.
I know.
How dare you?
And that's why I collect instead. But this is the first time I've actually seen the King's effigy on a coin.
Oh, really?
Tonight, yeah, honestly.
Literally in your hands?
Literally in my hands. But I mean, you know, the Royal Mint are having to change their whole business model, really, aren't they? Because unfortunately, usage is starting to diminish. But that's where I love that you're doing these commemorative pieces, and the fact that this is because it's a proof coin, is of higher quality than the circulated. And it's the highest quality that you can possibly make with what is currently available today in terms of manufacturing processes. Yeah. And there's a huge amount of hand craftsmanship that's going into these too.
Absolutely.
I can't believe they're struck one at a time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a gold coin will probably take an operator somewhere between sort of 10 and 15 minutes, even longer, because with gold you get a higher rejection rate at the press, essentially. So to get 350, we might have had to strike 1,000, 1,200.
Is that right?
Absolutely, because we will only take the most pristine and the most perfect strikes to put on sale, and then everything else will then get melted and, you know, thrown away again. Because you have to make that mintage of 350.
So you have to send it back to the people making the blanks, unless you make them in-house.
We can do some melting on site, so we're able to do that.
You have all of that there.
Absolutely.
I know you can't really talk very much about what is and isn't there because it's so top secret. It's nearly 1:30. You have an hour and a half left to take advantage of these discounts. Please, I pray, prithee, I beg thee, beseech thee. I, for some reason, want to talk Shakespearean. Go and tell your friends. I know it's late, but they will thank you if they collect coins or if they are collectors of royal memorabilia, of military memorabilia. This is definitely a show that they would want to see. I wish we could have put it in the TV Times or whatever they use these days. But we couldn't, and Shop on TV, we're live every night, and sometimes you don't always know what you're going to get. So I know this has come out of the blue for a lot of people, but if you know anyone that collects, please please let them know, because they will thank you for it. But again, this is brought to you courtesy of Shop On TV. It is, if you like, a little partnership that we're doing specifically directly with the Royal Mint, and that's why they have agreed on to do something they very rarely do ever, and that is give discounts. And normally if they do give discounts, they're very, very, very small. We have up to 30% off, but it's a very carefully curated selection. We talked in depth with staff and all of the ladies and gentlemen at Royal Mint involved in the commercial side about getting the right collection. So there's something for everybody. So there's something for somebody who's a casual, admirer of coins and wants something for 20 quid. Less than 20 quid. We've got something that's for less than 10 quid, I believe. Or then there's that sort of middle of the road collector who's like, yeah, I want to spend maybe 70, 80, 100 pounds, something like that, all the way up to, the 1,200. And then we've got, I think, a 3,500, even a 3,200. But wait till you see, in fact, we've got one of them coming up next. Wait till you see what's coming up next. So that's why we're just going in the order that we think is right. But if you're sitting there going, Rob, I'll need to go to bed, please, will you show me something so I can buy it and get on with it? And in fact, that's what we're going to do with the next item. So D-Day, all of these proving very popular. Have we shown the little wee coin yet? We haven't. That's what we're going to do now. We did promise. We teased the 40th of an ounce. I was reading all about weights and measures. Yes, I've got this. This is one of the reasons I love the stuff from the Royal Mint, because my brain is like a sponge for this kind of information. I'd almost want that as a pin.
Yeah.
So you could wear in your lapel.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is beautiful. And look at the detail, which unfortunately my eyes are not capable of seeing at this particular time of day or night. So we've got Utah, Omaha Gold, Juno, what's that say?
Sword. So they're the beaches. They're the 5 assault beaches.
Yeah, Utah, Omaha. Oh my gosh. Was it Gold, Juno and Sword? Or Juno Sword? Amazing. There's a documentary the BBC did. Sorry, ITV, forgive me. But they, which was all about Auschwitz. It was a 5-part documentary. I think it might still be on Netflix. Or if you get a chance to watch it, you've got to watch it. Mm-hmm. And I think it's important, certainly for people of future or generations beyond those who fought, so myself and my lineage going forwards, to really be grateful for the sacrifices that were made because of the atrocities that were imposed upon the nation and the people in it. But when you watch this particular documentary series about Auschwitz, one day I'm going to go, because it's such an important thing that happened. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I think everyone should go and pay their respects.
Absolutely.
I really, really do. And I think that's one of the things I love about coins. You're almost owning a piece of the history, but or certainly what's commemorating the history. So it's a reminder to you, but it's like you're paying your respects just by focusing on it and thinking about it on a daily basis. Particularly if you've got something that you put on your mantelpiece or something. Every day you're reminded of important things, or things that you care about, things that are important to you. So we just had an email from Kirsty. Hi Kirsty, how are you? She said, a wonderfully informative show tonight. She's got a silver sixpence as a Christmas gift for her niece Lucy. So hello to Lucy as well.
Amazing.
By the way, if you are buying anything that you're going to give as a gift, you're very welcome to email the studio. If you have a way of recording it, I mean, we could always, it'll be on YouTube, but we'll happily do a little TV dedication that you can record and show to the gift recipient as well if you want. So you can make it even more special. Now,
Ooh.
Meant to do that. Now look, this is really... We'll just leave it laying down,
I think it doesn't want to stand up. It doesn't want to do it.
This is called Currency of Conflict. It's a premium set. I think this is a magnificent price for what you're getting. And you're saving 10%. Look, £195. That is unheard of with the Royal Mint. People who are into buying their military collectible, numismatic memorabilia would be jumping over themselves to save £195. I hope, I pray that the people that this will mean a lot to get to find out about it before 3 a.m. Mm-hmm. So again, Walnut?
I don't think this is
No,
walnut,
mahogany?
actually. Yeah, it might be. I know that it's custom made, so actually this case, what didn't exist until we put together
Is that right?
the Currency of Conflict set. Yeah, so it's been done, and there's only 199 of these sets that we will ever make as well.
199
sets, yeah.
All right, you ready for this? Here we go. See, we're teasing you. Oh boy. I mean, wow. Wow. That, I mean, talk about being in a museum. This is a museum. It's a portable museum.
It really is, and it's got 3 of the most highly collectible coins in history, because what we have here is a collection of some of the most interesting currency that was born out of the conflict, or born out of conflict that this country has been involved in. So you've got 3 highly collectible and rare coins, and then you've got a very sought after banknote there as well.
Yeah. And isn't there something very special about the dates on the coins you were telling me?
Absolutely. So you've got a 1787 King's shilling, and in 1787 this was worth several days' pay for a person who worked for the armed forces.
Really?
So recruiters would use this as an incentive to get soldiers to come into the army essentially and become a private in the British Army. But there's also an interesting story around the 1787 King's shilling, because the recruiters, if the soldier said, no, I don't want to work for the British forces, I don't want to fight, then they had a different way of doing it. And when the soldiers weren't looking, they would drop a King's shilling into their drink. And if you drank and you found at the end that you had a King's shilling, you had no choice other than to join the armed forces at the time.
That's why you can buy tankards that have got shillings in the bottom.
Shillings in the bottom, or some tankards have a glass bottom so that soldiers could check before finishing their drink.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I didn't know that story. That's fascinating.
It is, isn't it?
And you get a banknote as well, so it's a real pound.
Yeah, you've got a banknote. You absolutely got a banknote. So you've got an 1815 20 franc there, because in 1815 we had to move out of London and we struck some coinage in France during the Neapolitan Wars. We struck some coinage for France, and then you also get the banknotes. The really interesting coin here is the 1918 Indian Sov.
Right.
So this is a special one-year issue. The one on the far left for you,
on
Rob.
the screen to the right.
Yeah. So in 1918, the German Navy had targeted British boats that were carrying gold from South Africa to London, and actually the British knew that was going to happen, and they made a plan. So they secretly sent the ship with the gold to India, and then the Royal Mint sent the dies from London to India to strike the 1918 sovereign. So there are very few of these in existence, but actually there was only ever 1 year, and it's really special because it's got an eye on it. So it's got what we would call, I guess, a privy mark, but to identify that it was struck in India for the Royal Mint in this, this plan that we had to kind of intercept the German Navy's plan to steal our gold, we sent the dies over and struck it there. So it's really, really interesting.
Wow. Oh, you see, it's hard to put a price on these things. I know ultimately you have to, but I think, considering how special that is, the prices are really very reasonable. I've always said, I hope in my lifetime they discover time travel, because all I've ever wanted to do is fly around in a police box, visit parts of places in history or future history, and this to me is, I imagine what it was like, because to us life feels normal today. But 100 years from now, people will look back and laugh at the silly things, oh, look at what they used to say, how quaint. They used to driving cars on the ground, or there'll be something. Who knows what it is. There's, on YouTube, there are these remarkable videos that have been upscaled to HD and de-jittered and all kinds of stuff. There was one, the earliest ever footage in New York, but there's also a lot in London as well. And just people used to walk around in the daytime in suits. The guys wore suits and the women wore dresses. Yeah. And it's just extraordinary pieces of history. And these are going back to days of yesteryear. And it's remarkable I always feel an energy coming off these things whenever I hold them.
Well, there's real history, isn't it? I mean, the banknote is a £1 Bradbury banknote, and this was one of the emergency banknotes that was issued within days of the conflict starting.
Is that right?
In 1914.
Because I've never seen, it's not a regular pound note, is it?
No, and it was an emergency, and the reason it's coloured differently is because it was an emergency banknote. They needed to make sure that they were replacing. So when the government said, we need you to cash in all your sovereigns because we are melting the gold to help the war effort, and And it's something like within 4 days of the conflict starting, this emergency banknote was produced because there was essentially an amnesty on sovereigns. You have to give your sovereigns in because we're at war within days of the conflict breaking out.
George V on as well. That was the King's Speech, George V, wasn't it? Was that the,
yeah.
Because no, it's earlier. I know you mentioned about the House of Hanover, the Hanoverian, because the House of Hanover, the royalty. They are the House of Hanover, but during the war they changed it to Windsor. And it was it George V? It might very well have been George V, or his predecessor was Mrs. Simpson, the guy who married Mrs. Simpson, wasn't it? Wallace Simpson is Edward VIII.
Edward VIII, yes, which is the Queen's uncle, yeah.
But then his son
George VI was the Queen's father.
Right. Okay. Yes. So So George the anyway, one of those. It gets very confusing.
It is. There's a lot of Georges.
Because when Edward abdicated because he married Mrs. Simpson, or wanted to marry Mrs. Simpson, that was a very unusual thing to have happened. And suddenly, because I know the king, so it would have been George VI, you said? Or fifth?
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to be king, did they?
No, absolutely. He wasn't born into the monarchy, as was the late Queen Elizabeth II. She was never born to do it. If her uncle hadn't abdicated, she would never have been monarch. She was never in line to become a monarch. So no, he absolutely didn't want to do it, partly because he was quite a shy man. He had a stammer, quite famously had a stammer, so he didn't enjoy public speaking.
The film was made about
the King's Speech, of course.
So that was the sixth, George VI.
I think so, yeah.
Right.
Pretty sure.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think it was George. It was one. I'm pretty sure must have been George VI then, who decided to change the name from the House of Hanover to Windsor.
Right.
Something like that.
I'll take your word for it, Rob.
I don't know exactly. You can check your Wikipedia, but I know. I don't know. Why am I even giving pseudo facts that might not even be correct? When I've got a lady here who's an encyclopedia. I'm just trying to sound like I know something. Not doing a very good job. Okay, now. This is mine. It's still here. For how much longer, who knows? This actually opens up completely, so you could stand it up as like that, if you wished, as a display. It's from the First World War, 2 coin sovereign set. These are full sovereigns. They are pure gold, and they are 2 of them for £1,282. Again, 10% off. If you've just tuned in, remember you've got to shop at royalmint.com/TV. We've got about an hour and 15 minutes before these discounts run out. They will end at the end of the show. They will not be here later today. So I know I don't mean to be pushy, but look, I'm trying to do you a favour here, because the Royal Mint don't do discounts. They have quite against their normal sort of way of doing business, especially and only exclusively for the ITV1 and STV audience tonight. These were not put in papers. This coin, what do you call it? This code, not code. This web portal. Nobody was told about it. In fact, it was locked off. You couldn't even see it till a few minutes before we went live, just before midnight or just after midnight. So get yourself these while you can. They're not safe when they're in your baskets. They're not yours until you've paid for them. So please do so quickly. Now go ahead, Leslie. Leslie's trying to tell me something, and I'm too busy yammering on. So Viv just sent us a very lovely message. Hi, Viv. She's also finding it a very, very interesting show, and she got the D-Day coin because it's such an important part of history. Did she mean the 50p? Oh wow! So her father, her father passed away a year ago. He was 100.
Oh wow!
And he served in Italy in World War II, and he talked about D-Day a lot. So that's really choking me up. Because I imagine this now. Oh. Viv, that's going to remind you of your dad every time you look at that coin. It's just see, this is why this is important. This is why this. Look, I know it's lovely that we sell, vacuum cleaners and things like that. But the reason I've loved collectibles, I've worked in Hollywood for a long, long time, and I always keep mementos whenever I'm on set. But going back to the films that I love, and I always, I started too late as an actor, but I've done my fair share, but I wish that I'd been around in the heyday of cinema, and I try to buy as much of the sort of memorabilia from my favourite films as I can. It's owning something that is truly unique and truly special. Very few people in the world will own these. Mm-hmm. Again, how many? Limited to how many was it?
So this set is $499.
Oh, $499.
So we put the set together, so we'll only do 499 sets.
Yes.
And what you have here is 2 sovereigns. that are both 22 karat gold.
Yes.
They are dated, so you've got one dated 1914 and one dated 1918. So essentially they are marking the start and the end of that conflict.
They're bookending the war.
They're bookending World War I. And let's be fair, that conflict has affected every part of society and essentially changed the UK forever, World War I.
Yeah,
you know, we were unrecognisable and it changed it forever.
It was such a senseless war.
It really was.
Aren't they all?
Yeah, yeah, war is senseless, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They're both sourced and authenticated by the Royal Mint, and they're both in very, very fine condition. So we make sure that we will only sell the very best of the best and put these into sets.
It's interesting what you just said, that they're, if you'll pardon the pun, they are in mint condition.
They are in mint condition.
And they've come back home again, haven't they? They've gone full circle.
They've come home to the mint. And you've got an information booklet here that tells the story of the sovereign during the war. Yeah. So these are some of the last sovereigns that actually ever entered circulation as well, because after the war we stopped striking sovereigns for circulation. Yeah. Currency changed forever after World War I. So because obviously they were handing these sovereigns back into the government to help with the war effort, like we've just talked about, because they needed the gold to melt it down to essentially pay for the war effort. Yeah. So these are some of the last sovereigns that also ever entered circulation. And if you think about potentially who's held these sovereigns, because these would have been in circulation. These sovereigns
been spending them.
Potentially, these would have been in the hands of people.
It was quite a lot of money, I would have imagined, a sovereign, wasn't it, to actually have a sovereign?
Well, they were always a pound value essentially, but obviously they've got the gold value. So when you buy a sovereign, yes, you're buying a sovereign, you're buying the chief coin of the world, but it'll always have its intrinsic metal value. It'll always have its gold value forever.
I remember my parents. My dad used to earn about £19 a week, I think, when he was younger. I don't know exactly what it was, and he bought his first house for about £1,000. You know, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's 6 times more than that now. These are just beautiful. They bookend the war, so they're special in that regard. Mm-hmm. They've been in circulation for decades, I suppose, and they've now been resourced by the Royal Mint. They have been proofed or not proofed, checked. Authenticated, that's the word I was looking for. But also not only for them being authentic, but also for them being the right quality. Mm-hmm. So only the mint condition coins are then being put here, and they are some of the last sovereigns ever to be circulated. I'm mistaken. There are 2 that are going to disappear at the end of the show. They mean something. These things mean something. They are meaningful purchases. And isn't it lovely? Look, I know one could argue that £1,282 is a considered purchase. But if you buy, what do you spend? What do I spend on a weekly shop? You know, when you think about what you spend on disposable things, that you get some form of a pleasure for a period of time, but it is limited. These, you get to enjoy these for your entire life, but you also get to enjoy now the thought of future generations. You know, look, I think about being, having my son David, and I think about the days when I'm no longer here, and none of us ever know how long we've got. I hope I live to over 100. That's my goal. I mean, I probably should lose some weight before that'll happen, but anyway. But I think about the days I'm not here, and hopefully he's long outlived me. And I think about the things that I've got now that I own that will be special to him. Or I can't tell this story. It's gonna make me go, because David's only over there. And the things that will be special to him of mine in the future. Mm-hmm. And it's stuff like, because I know we've got some collectibles at home that I know he will continue to enjoy.
Yeah. And treasure. Yeah, and they will always remind him of you. So when I started the Mint, I've sort of made a promise to myself that I would buy a sovereign every year. Right. And I would put them to one side for my son. I only have one son, Alfie. He's almost 10. Oh, and actually, he will be proud of his mum who worked for the Royal Mint, but also he will have a collection that he can sell and hopefully make some money from. Sure. Or I hope that he will keep them and treasure them forever and hand them down to his children. And
if you're lucky to have, as I hope I have, a dynasty that lasts many, many hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of years, one day they'll be sitting, they may even be in a museum because they're so rare, Now, we've still got loads more to show you. please, if you can, and even if you're not a night owl, stay up until 3 a.m. because we'll show you everything. And remember, the show finishes at 3, and so do the discounts. All these special discounts are gone after 3 a.m. The page will close down probably around 4. You won't even be able to check out after that. You certainly won't be able to go anywhere else on the Royal Mint website and put in a code or find and recover these discounts. They are done, finished and over at just past 3 a.m. So here now, this is the longest item code we have for the night. These are the World War II. I know. We had to make the graphics so it fit. That was the only that fitted. Then everything else had to be the same size. The World War II British soldier set, limited edition. Oh
I love
my! I didn't see that before. Holy moly! And it's such a nostalgic presentation. Look at that. Excuse me, is it only £99 normally? But we've given you 20, or Royal Mint, I've given you 20% off, £19.80p. So you get the whole lot for £79.20. So how many coins? And there's a medal there as well.
Absolutely. So you've got a selection of circulating coins from World War II, but they're sitting alongside the War Medal.
Yeah.
And that War Medal was minted by the Royal Mint, and George VI, actually, who's the Queen's dad, designed the medal ribbon for this. And if you have a look at it, it's in the colours of the Union Jack.
Oh, yeah?
Because this was given to not only military personnel who served, but also civilians who also helped with the war effort. So the War Medal's in there.
Yeah.
And what you have here is essentially all of these pre-decimal coins add up to 2 shillings. And why is it 2 shillings? Because that was the pay of a private in the armed forces during World War II. So they had 2 shillings a week into spend on whatever they wanted, food, entertainment, etc. So you've got a shilling, a sixpence, a threepence, a penny, a halfpenny, and a farthing, and then they all sit alongside the War Medal.
The War Medal, we're just looking at the reverse of the War Medal. So that's a lion overcoming a griffin, I assume, is that?
That's right, yeah.
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 1939 to 1945. Just brilliant. So there's the medal, but let's go through some of the others. So we'll all the coins individually. So it's how many coins in total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10 coins, right? Mm-hmm. Is that correct? Here comes the first one. So we'll do the little close-ups. So here we've got a farthing, a penny. Is it? What do they call it? Penny? No, a penny farthing's a bike, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Hello. The big wheel. This would be the little wheel. I've never seen a farthing in my life. That is amazing. Look at that little bird.
It's a beautiful
detail.
design as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So that is your farthing. Then we've got the pen. Now, this is what I found a box of when I moved into one of the houses I lived at growing up, and somebody had left a whole box of pennies behind. And I used to play with these an awful lot and imagine I was rich. my youth.
Maybe if you'd kept them, you would have been. And obviously,
Maybe, I know.
That's Britannia, look, our beautiful Britannia.
The halfpenny. Now, I'm old enough to actually have remembered halfpennies. And I remember when they were phased out because they just, inflation and all that, and they just wasn't worth having a half. But I remember prices. I used to buy sweets that were something and a half p. Mm-hmm. So there's the halfpenny, or the halfpenny. Oh, threepence. Now, this had gone before I was born. And probably, certainly you as well. Threepence, 3 pence. So I suppose we'd go back to the old imperial days when it was pounds, shillings and pence.
Yeah, and threepence during the war as well was very popular because of its 12-sided shape. I'm told that soldiers were able to find it easily and know exactly what it was during blackouts. Because they'd be able to feel for it, so they knew exactly what their currency was. So the threepence kind of came into its own during the wars. One of the stories about currency is actually because of its unique shape.
Because you're buying a loaf of bread during a blackout.
Well, exactly. You need to be able to see how much you're spending.
I love all these stories. And then we have a sixpence as well. And again, these are all circulated coins. These are all used. Like, my parents would have used these coins.
Yep.
Because they were born in they were very young, barely just born. But I suppose as they got older, these still would have been in circulation till, do you know when they would have gone out of circulation, these coins?
I think, so potentially they would have been in until decimalisation. So decimalisation was 1971, so we'd never pull coinage out. Coinage just goes on. And some coins are in circulation for years and years, decades and decades, because we were still seeing the late Queen Elizabeth II's, her father's coinage for years and years after she ascended to the throne.
There's your shilling, probably one of the most famous coins. And a shilling's 5p, basically, isn't it? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What else we got? What else we got? I think we're going to have to start racing through some of the other items because we're running out of time here. We'll have to do a 6-hour show next time. What we got here, so this is what, 10p? Is this 10p? No. Oh, that's the reverse of the shilling. So there is George, and there's the entire set. There's loads of beautiful blurb, some really wonderful photos. It's and the medal as well, of course. It's a stunning, stunning piece. Now we have some Henry VIII seals coming up, seals of the realm. We have a really special Queen Elizabeth II set coming up also. The lunar items are also Year of the Snake, proving very, very popular. We will. We showed the decades of the Queen Elizabeth crown, the crown set, didn't we? We've got through a lot of it, but we will. I want to show. There's one item, Leslie, that's £3,500. Shall we show the two big hitters, maybe side by side, a bit later? Yeah. Yeah. Now. Come on, Harry. Harry. No, the exact line is this. You're a wizard, Harry. Who do I look like?
Robbie Coltrane, maybe?
Yep. And I'm an actor, and they're making a TV series. Who do you think is trying to get the role?
Well, you need to audition.
Well, I realised this, yes. Thank you for the advice. What would I have done if you hadn't told me that? I've been in touch with the executive producer.
So, have you?
Yeah,
they did an open casting call for Harry and Hermione and Ron,
They're still
actually.
doing it.
Yeah, my little boy wanted to throw his hat in the ring, but then at the last minute he decided he couldn't be bothered to do a 30-second VT.
Oh, for 10 years of work making him a multi-millionaire and globally famous. Yeah.
He was just busy on Fortnite.
Ah, yeah. Yeah. Such is the way with the youth these days. No, they haven't started casting the adults yet. They're looking at Dumbledore, Mark Rylance maybe. But there are probably only 2 or 3 actors. If they're going to stay with the traditional, then there are probably only 2 or 3 actors that I could think of. But I'm authentic. I'm very Robbie. All my life I've been confused with Robbie. And the reason that I'm talking nostalgically about all of this is because here we have the Harry Potter 2024 Black Lake UK 50p brilliant uncirculated colour coin, and it's a limited edition as well. That's a mouthful, isn't it? It's only £14.70. That's just madness, isn't it? Isn't it great? And you get all of this fabulous, fabulous, fabulous information and blurb. I mean, J.K. Rowling created such an incredible world.
She did.
By the way, one of the only characters, when they said to her, who do you want to play Hagrid? She said immediately, Robbie Coltrane. He was the only choice because he could do drama, he could do comedy, and also he had real heart for the character. Yeah. I've got all those, J.K., if you're watching.
Just in case.
I will guard your legacy. Anyway, but they're amazing stories. I watched them all the films recently. I watch them at least once a year. I just bought all the audiobooks, and I'm going to start listening to the audiobooks. Stephen Fry is
he narrates them, and I reread the books quite often.
Yeah. See, I'm terrible reading. I can't read. I can read fact, but if I read fantasy, I start imagining, and my mind wanders. And before I know it, I'm like, oh blimey! It'll take me 10 minutes to read a chapter sometimes because I'm off into the cloud. So that's why I have to do the audiobooks. So that's that side.
So there are only 20,000 of these.
It's limited, really?
This is limited to 20,000, and it's from The Goblet of Fire. There's a very famous scene where Harry has to, in the Triwizard Tournament, where he has to dive down to the deep, murky depths of the Black Lake to save somebody from the Mer people, essentially. So that's what the design is on this.
Yeah, I love it. Should we read that first part? Actually, we're going to have to... I look at the detail they picked out on the coin. That's the bit where, as I say, he's going down to try and save Hermione, and the Mer people are trying to stop him because they're very, very mean.
Nasty.
But he wins in the end, of course. That is for £14.70p. It's one of those things. If you haven't got a big budget to spend on this sort of thing, it's such a great stocking filler. Anyone who's a Harry Potter fan, look. You can buy them a plastic toy. You can buy them a commemorative token of some kind. Believe me, there's a lot of merchandise that you can, for Harry Potter. But it's it's all a bit samey. You know, yes, there are some great things, but these are coins. These are probably the most impressive. When you buy a coin, it ain't just something normal, is it? It's got some zhuzh, it's got some pizzazz, it's got some wow about it, hasn't it? You know.
Absolutely. And it's also like a little piece of art, I think.
Yeah.
Every single one is a work of art.
Come seek us where our voices sound. Harry Potter. I just love it. I just absolutely love this. £60, very affordable. We'll give you 20% off. And again, these are real coins, but they're all proof coins, so they're actually made to a substantially higher standard than circulated coins, as I learned tonight. I'm now saying, I've owned that now, saying it like I've been saying it for years.
Yeah.
I only learned that this evening. I mean, they are just stellar. I still can't fathom how they put the colour on.
Yeah.
I've seen it, we've shown it,
Yeah.
but it's still amazing.
It is amazing, because if you think about the level of intricate work that's required to get the alignment right,
Yeah.
it's a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
But there's only 2,500 of these silver ones, so a really low mintage on Harry.
Oh, really? That's, 2,000 people in the entire world. And do you get a little certificate with them as well?
You absolutely do, so it's always authenticated, and you get a cert with a number on it.
Yeah.
You're one of 2,500 people globally who could own a 50p Harry Potter Black Lake silver 50p.
Do you know, it's again, I never say buy these for an investment, but I have to say, I buy them for an investment, not a financial investment necessarily, but Oh no! I've just realised something. Sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt myself. This news just in, folks. I didn't realise that. I thought when they're in the acrylic blocks, you're not going to be able to take them out. But look what happens. They're magnetic. I didn't know that.
Some of them are magnetic, some of them,
Some
I think some of the gold ones are screwed in because we want to protect the coin even further. But yes, these ones are
this
magnetic.
one certainly is magnetic.
Yeah.
Sorry, I scared the life out of David, our floor manager. Sorry about that. Thank you. Now, we're going to go back to one of our best sellers. So it's been hugely busy. What, we've got about an hour left, I believe. Is that right? About an hour? 1 hour remaining. I know you may be tempted to go to bed. Stop it immediately, because if you want to see everything, unless you know you've gone to royalmint.com/TV, that's where you shop tonight. That royalmint.com/TV, which is where this QR code will take you to. If you open the camera app on your phone, if you've got a new enough phone, and point it at the barcode, it will take you straight to the website name will come up. You just tap it and it will take you there. And by the way, we are fully compatible with Apple Pay and Google Pay. So if you do the QR code on your phone, it takes you to the website on the phone. You can choose what you want, and you can pay using Apple Pay directly on your phone, which my son keeps telling me is just the best way to pay for anything. I've not used it myself. Right, so that's...
Apart from cash, obviously.
Apart from cash.
Obviously,
real,
yeah.
But it's difficult to get coins through the
online.
internet.
I totally get it.
Yeah, I know. Maybe we should have an intricate conveyor belt system there.
Maybe we
Every
should.
website, yeah.
Maybe we should.
Now, let me show you the snowman, because it's flying. It's absolutely flying. So we've got two versions. This is the uncirculated colour coin limited edition. Again, it's still a limited edition. Was it 50,000?
Yeah, 25,000.
Oh, 25,000.
Yeah,
Wow.
25,000.
Which is, for £17.50, the price doesn't seem... You'd almost think that wouldn't be a limited edition for that price. You're still getting something special. If you think 25,000 people out of, 7 billion are we up to now, the world population? It's pretty rare.
It's pretty rare.
Yeah. What do you want to say about this? What's your favourite stories about it?
So, I mean, I love the snowman. I think it's played in every household across the UK as a tradition every single Christmas. I love Raymond Briggs's illustrations. I think they're absolutely beautiful. We know that they were all done in colour pencils initially. You've seen some footage now of how the coin is struck, so we know that, you know, we are applying a huge amount of, 120 tonnes worth of pressure to be able to elevate the design out of essentially a piece of metal. So absolutely precious. Only 25,000 of these will ever be minted by us. And it's really a timeless Christmas story, isn't it? Loved by children and adults alike. I love the scene as well. So this is one of the most iconic scenes where the snowman is putting the star on top of the Christmas tree. This is a licensed product as well. So we worked with Snowman Enterprises Limited to be able to bring this to life. And we've taken the original artwork from Raymond Briggs and handed it to Robin Shaw, who to kind of elevate it and make sure that it translates onto coin perfectly, because actually putting a picture onto a coin isn't as easy as it sounds. It's not a matter of making a die, striking it, and there you go.
Yeah.
You know, our craftspeople will spend hours and hours and hours understanding how to elevate that design, and then all our dies are also hand polished to make sure that we are elevating that design as much as we possibly can.
Do you know, I shouldn't say this because if our CEO's watching, I'll get into trouble, and he probably is. But one of the things I love about the Royal Mint, I am completely OCD, and I don't mean that as a phrase. I am slightly OCD, and for me, if a job's worth doing, it's worth doing well. And so I will only ever accept the highest standard, which makes me a pain in the bum to work with a lot. And I know, and I realise that, and thank you to all the team that work with me, because I do realise it. You only have to work with me for a few hours. I have to live with this. But for me, there is only one level of quality, and that is the best that you can possibly make something. But in business, often, you have to not cut corners, but you have to settle for maybe not quite the standard. That compromise is what it's all about. And that's true in any business. So, and I have to say, we've done, I think, very well with Shop-on-TV to not compromise and to maintain very high standards. Even though we started from scratch, you know, a little ragtag team of people who did a deal with ITV, and we've been here we're 1 year old on tomorrow night.
Happy birthday!
Tomorrow into Monday. So yeah, I know. And here we are now, and not only now here we are with the Royal Mint. You know, this is a special thing. This is the snowman is just lovely. 1750. It comes with a beautiful presentation. There it is, and what a silly price, 1750. Don't even bear thinking about. As I say, that for me is a takeaway these days. In fact, it's not even the cost of living is getting so ridiculous. It's not even takeaway prices. It's regular food prices now. Sometimes.
But what a lovely stocking filler, or a gift. You know, if you had that in your stocking, or you got gifted a snowman 50p, you would treasure it, wouldn't you?
Just checking something. Yeah, magnetic. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't know that, and it never came up.
It's satisfying as well, isn't it?
It really is.
It's a really nice click.
Because you may wish, and again, certain people may wish, to take out the encapsulation and hold the coin. If you do that, we recommend white gloves.
Absolutely. I mean, the Royal Mint would never recommend you taking it out of its capsule, because the capsule's there to preserve that coin forever. It won't tarnish, to keep it safe. But actually, we understand that some people do want to, but if you do, it's white gloves, a coin mat. You have to know what you're doing to handle these coins.
Why is it called a mint? Do you know? Is there a story behind that?
Do you know, it's a really good question that I don't know the answer to. I guess a mint it's the process of minting a coin. That's why it's called a mint, is because you're actually minting coins.
I'll have to look up the etymology, because I was going to do it and I ran out of time.
There will be a reason, but you know, it's because we mint coins, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And it is the Royal Mint. I mean, back in the days before the Royal Mint was sort of consolidated, I think at one point there was something like 4,000 mints around the country. There were quite a few, and and some of them were sanctioned and some of them were not. Now that was the other thing also, that as coinage became sort of the standard currency, of course, counterfeiting started to become a problem as well. And I believe at one point, you know, sort of in the 1600s, you know, as many as 10% of the coins in circulation were reckoned to have been counterfeited. So one of the monarchs, and unfortunately it's escaping me as to which one, actually started... No. It's when Isaac Newton took over. And I believe in his reign, he decided, right, I'm putting my foot down and I'm going to try and reduce or eliminate the counterfeiting of coins.
Absolutely,
Because Isaac Newton ran the gaff, didn't he?
He did. Sir Isaac Newton was the master of our mint, so he was our chief exec in today's world of the mint for the last 30 years of his life. And we're also subject to something called the trial of the Picts. I don't know whether you know what trial of the Picts is.
I've heard of it, but tell me.
This dates back to like the 1200s, where essentially the monarch of the time potentially didn't trust the mint to produce products that were exactly what we said we were going to do. So is it that amount? Does it weigh that amount of gold? And that's a tradition that still stands today. So every year, so for every coin we make, we have to make 3, because actually then we keep the 2 spare aside and we put it into a box, into a vault. It all gets locked. And then every year we go to a full legal trial where everything we've ever made, a sample of everything we've made throughout the last year, gets assayed. And they use modern assaying, techniques like chemistry, but they also, they cut it, they smash it, they weigh it, they do everything to it. And we have never failed a trial of the picks yet. So we are doing what we say we are doing. Our fine gold, it weighs exactly the same, but we are still subject to a full legal trial every single year.
Wow. Oh my God, that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. And again, if the king ain't happy, he would have a thing or two to say about this.
Absolutely, yeah. So we have someone in the Mint who's called the King's Assay Master. So he is essentially the person who is responsible for everything that comes out of the Mint, and he's technically the only person in the UK today who could still have his head chopped off. Technically.
No
Now
way.
it would be a bit heavy-handed, but essentially, legislation kind of dictates that he is the only person that potentially
could be beheaded.
The king could do that if we are making product that doesn't assay well.
Because also I know during the just going back to what we were saying about Isaac Newton, he made it so that it was high treason if you were found to be counterfeiting money, and obviously you would be executed if you were found guilty of high treason.
Absolutely.
It's fascinating. I love these old laws. Well, the school I went to is one of the sort of top 5 schools in the country, and it's very old, over 4 centuries old. And if you were head boy of the school, you could grow a beard. You would be given a house on the school premises for free for the rest of your life if you were married, and as long as you were and you were allowed to be married while you were at school, and as long as you were married you would always be provided for. But also you could walk a flock of sheep across London Bridge.
Handy.
Very handy.
Very handy.
So often I come into London and think, I wish I could have walked my flock of sheep.
I wish I could have walked my sheep across London Bridge.
Yeah. There's also, I believe, a quaint old law that cab drivers are still allowed to urinate on one of the back tyres of their cab, because back in the days of horse and carts,
Needs must.
Yeah, it's legal. Yeah, precisely. Right. Now, if you love this, and you are, let's also mention that you do have the availability of the Gruffalo's Child version. I say version, it's the same look. We have it in the card version, which is under £20, and we have it in the acetate gold, which is also £60. And we also have the little teeny weeny gold proof ones, the 40th of an ounce of gold, if you want to choose those. Please go to, this is where you're shopping tonight, royalmint.com/TV. Remember, it is a specially curated holding page just for the discounts tonight. These discounts, between 10 and 30%, do not appear anywhere else on the Royal Mint website. You only can see the discounts if you go to royalmint.com/TV. The Royal Mint historically never ever discount things. Not only have they done a special offer for you for Black Friday and as the launch here at ShopOnTV, but also they've been very generous. I mean, between 10 on some of the £3,000 plus items, and even the £1,000 or £2,000 plus items, it's 10%. So you're saving £350 on one of them, which we'll show you shortly. As a numismatist, you will appreciate, if you are one, that is something that is unheard of. Normally, people compete; they pay more to get limited edition items. You don't see them discounted. Right, let's move from 24 to 25. It's our most affordable piece. I think, haven't we? No, we've got something under £10, haven't we? I think £7.60 or something. Yeah, there will be. Yeah. There is one item, I believe. Yeah. Our producer was just saying about whether this was our most affordable item. I'm pretty sure we got something that dips under a tenner. No, maybe the saving was £7.60. I can't remember. Anyway. But look, so tell us about this. Lunar Year of the Snake.
Yeah, so this is the 6th animal in the Chinese lunar calendar.
Right.
And snakes, so the year of the snake, people who are said to be born in the year of snake represent strength, they're clever, determined, they're known for their adaptability and their intelligence. So it's a bit like the horoscopes essentially, but the Chinese culture have these animals, these 12 animals.
Yeah.
And the agility is represented in the snake, right? Because the snake is, the snake's progress cannot be stopped. It'll get through anything.
Right.
And those characteristics and traits are seen in people who are born in the year of the snake. So I know I was born in the year of the rooster. We'll have to find out what year you were born in.
I bet you it's pig.
There is the year of the pig.
There is.
Very famous people who are year of the snake: Buzz Aldrin, Robert Downey Jr., and JFK.
Oh, really?
JFK, the 35th president of the US.
Wow.
The design is amazing. Now, what we try and do with our Lunar series is fuse British culture and Chinese culture. So you will see there is a snake, but actually it's a British adder.
Yeah.
And the tail of the snake is encompassing the Chinese symbol.
Yeah.
But we always try to fuse. And going back to authenticity, we work really, really closely with a subject matter expert on this from Chinatown here in London to make sure that everything is correct and that we're representing the animal absolutely bang on, essentially, to make sure that we are being authentic to that culture.
I love it. Look, clever, popular, thoughtful. That's exactly what buying one of these is. So if you know that if somebody is pregnant in your family and they're going to be dropping next year,
Absolutely.
it's maybe not the best choice of word. Dropping or delivering, if the stalk's arriving next year. Now, if you would prefer this instead of the uncirculated coin, but you'd like it in gold proof, we do have that as well. We don't have one here in the studio. It's 89.50. Now, we do, sorry.
Yeah.
We don't have a picture of it, that's right. The 40th of an ounce of gold. It's, again, the little rinky-dinky one. I love these. They're so great.
So there's only 2,888 of these.
Ah.
And the reason why we choose that number, so 8, in Chinese culture is their lucky number.
Yes.
4 represents death. We never do 4s. Stay away from 4s. But actually, they love the number 8. And if you look closely at the adder is in a 88 design as well.
No, I know my life number is 8.
8.
And I was told when somebody did my life number reading, because an 8 typically has a smaller circle on top and a larger one underneath. So for the first half of your life, it'll be fairly unremarkable. But then the second one, as I move into the second half of my life, apparently it's going to become super remarkable.
That's when you're casting the new Harry Potter
That's when I'm
TV
casting
series.
the new
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's it. So fingers crossed for the for the next couple of years. I love these. They really are great. I wish that would have to. I wear a lot of lapel pins because I belong to various different organisations that often have these little lapel pins. I almost wish we could put one of those in there. But there on the web you can see it in really, really great detail, and you can see the contrast of the size between a 50p and it's 8mm in diameter. So the front, obviously, the year of the snake with the snake in the double figure 8 configuration, and then the king's head, not the pub, on the right-hand side, but the coin, the actual the actual king's head is that's the whole presentation there. It's really well laid out. The website is amazingly informative. When you buy these, you're going to get to know the limited edition. It's all clearly labelled, but also some of the other little sort of points of interest about the product you're buying. Because these are talking pieces. When you have coins, particularly if they're on display, and somebody comes round to your home for a drink or a dinner or a visit, and they see these things, you're armed with information that I think it just makes it a talking point, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And they come with these red envelopes as well, because in Chinese culture, during Chinese New Year, it is tradition that you would put money in a red envelope and gift money to members of your family. So we've chosen to put it in a red envelope because you are gifting money if you are going to gift it.
There it is.
But yeah, they all come in red envelopes.
40 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do a little recap for you. Our Queen Elizabeth commemorative coins are coming up in a minute. 31, Buckingham Palace, 31 available. So do have a little look at the website. Remember, you are shopping this evening or this morning at royalmint.com/TV. This landing page, this whole section we're scrolling through now, will cease to be live. It will go away and disappear into the annals of Royal Mint history and Shop on TV history by the stroke of 4 a.m, if not sooner. The offers last until 3 a.m. I believe there is going to be a small grace period for those that are checking out right on the chime of 3, but I don't even actually. I'm being told it might not even be 4 o'clock. It might just be a small grace period. And once they're gone, so all of the savings are here. So these are the ones I'm going to show you later. The Great Seals of the Realm, King Henry VIII's 1 ounce fine gold coin. That is extraordinary. I'm going to show you that later. But you must check out. You must pay. You must complete your purchase by the time the page goes away. So by 3 a.m. to be safe. If you don't do it, you will never see these savings are literally expiring in less, what was it, 50 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes? Less than that, 40 minutes. Because the thing is that these are very special, and the Royal Mint don't do discounts. They just don't. That's what we were told from day. Well, the Royal Mint don't do discounts. It is extraordinary. It's almost historic that they are doing this for you tonight. But it's a one-time hit. The site was hidden until we went live, and it will disappear after we are no longer live. The reason being, you know, that then we don't want these things being picked up by coupon sites and stuff like that, and you know, it's a special event. So we will let you know, and the next time the show is on, this was all put together. Oh, it's taken a couple of months to put it all together, but we're going to make sure that we'll inform you with a promo. We're going to give you more of a heads up. I've been verbalising it, but I know a lot of people who will miss out on this, and they will be very upset when they find out that we did this show. Now, I want this as well. This is there's something about Buckingham Palace that's just incredible. This is a 2024 UK £5 gold proof coin, limited edition. It's normally £33.40. You're saving £334. And I love this Royal Mail box that it comes in. Oh, wow. Real stamps, I'm assuming?
Absolutely. So this is what we call a PNC, a philatelic numismatic cover. Easy for me to say.
I was going to say that, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you've got to tell me that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, what now?
But essentially, it's a set that contains both stamps and coins.
Oh, I see.
And generally, those stamps will be date marked or postmarked.
Right.
So what you've got is a £5 gold Buckingham Palace proof coin.
Pure gold.
Pure gold. And then what you have is a Red Arrows. So the 60th anniversary of the Red Arrows was this year. And the Royal Mail issued a stamp collection. So what you have here is a prestige stamp book that's been issued by the Royal Mint, but they're all date marked on 20th of June, which was the first date of issue, essentially. So the first date those stamps were released. And the reason we decided to couple the Red Arrows with Buckingham Palace, because how many times have the Red Arrows done a fly past over Buckingham Palace? It's the most iconic building in central London. It's an absolutely beautiful building. Now, the design is essentially the facade of the outside of Buckingham Palace, but you can see in the design as well, you have the Royal Standard flying, so you know your monarch is at home when the Royal Standard is flying. And then it's encircled with this beautiful, intricate design that's actually taken from the grand staircase that's inside Buckingham Palace. So we were allowed in to view the staircase in order to build the design of this coin, because the intricate work around the outside is taken from the grand staircase.
Now, 50 is the limited. This is number 40. I don't know how many of the 50 that are going to be made are left.
I'm not sure, to be honest. I can't imagine a great deal.
A great deal. Look, I know it is an investment at £3,006, but I don't think you're very likely to ever get this anywhere else with a £334 saving. The Royal Mint, I'm thank you, because I can't believe they've done this. But seriously, that is amazing. To get that sort of a discount, and it's a bit of a dirty discussion, really, isn't it? Because to think there's things that are so special that one should even talk about discounts. You know what I mean? So usually I'm used to hearing auction prices going up and up and up on these sorts of things, you know.
But I think we really wanted to bring something special to your viewers this evening. We wanted to really, and it's Black Friday, why not, right? Why not give someone a bit of a gift? It's this close to Christmas, why not?
And it showed. I have to say that when we knew that the Royal Mint were in discussions with us, I really thought that it was going to be full of stuffy old, boring people, and that the meetings were going to drag on for hours and be. It's full of the most dynamic men and women, and actually the people we've been dealing with, mostly women, who are just fun. And I mean, you've been such a hoot tonight. You really have.
Oh, thank you.
By the way, thanks to Mafanway, who she does a lot of the exhibitions and what have you for the Royal Mint. She helped put all the displays together with that, and everyone, and Lizzie and all the people at the Royal Mint have just been amazing.
Oh, lovely. Thank you for saying that.
I mean, really interesting. I never thought it would be such a vibrant, dynamic, open-minded company. But then actually, I suppose if you look at the history of the Royal Mint, in a way, it's always had that kind of attitude, hasn't it? Because,
absolutely. And we've revolutionised, the last sort of 5 to 10 years. It's a very different business to what it was 10 years ago. And that's partly because, our chief executive is a female, and she has, set her heart on making us the last mint standing, and we will absolutely revolutionise this business.
Yeah. It's been an absolute joy, and so thank you. Seriously, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, please come back all the time. Right, if you would like this, you're never going to see a price like this again, I don't think, on something like this. Certainly not after 3 a.m. Now, again, bear in mind the P&P, any orders up to £250 are £3.99. Anything over is £9, but you will get special delivery on this as well. This is not just going to show up in an envelope. You know, it's going to be specially boxed, and it's going to be tracked, and it's going to be insured. And
it has to be signed for as well. It's such a high-value item, we wouldn't allow that out of the mint without it being signed for.
It is wonderful. I love the whole presentation of it. There are only a few, I don't know, because only 50 in the whole world are being made. And that was number 40. That, to me, suggests that possibly a large chunk of them have already sold out. How long ago was it, do you know, that it was minted and offered for sale?
So I know that the stamps were issued on the 20th of June and Buckingham Palace was around the same time.
Yeah.
So probably around mid-year point would be my guess.
Been out there, yeah. So I would imagine there are probably only a handful of them left. So up to you. Come on, David, come on in. While we have a little look, this is just a sort of little generic look at how the designs are made. Some are made using CAD programs, some are still made through using, well, traditional methods of carving.
Plaster modelling.
Plaster modelling, amazing. And there's the National Gallery. Presumably it's always, well no actually, because you did the year of the snake. I was going to say it's always British heritage, but it's, in a way it's not, is it? But it's always, I suppose, based in British heritage.
Yeah, so what we try and do is remain authentic to the... I mean, we've got royal in our title, we have the royal crest above our door, so we have to remain authentic to who we are, and we are the British Royal Mint at the end of the day. So anything we do that we commemorate, we always have a British slant to it. So the Year of the Snake's a good example. It's King an adder.
Yeah.
It's King and an adder. So it's a British snake. So we always try and have that British link back to whatever it is we do.
Amazing. Now, we've got to put people out of their misery, because I know I've been talking about this all show. The monarch's heads.
Yes.
What's the deal with that?
So generally, if you have a look at the coinage throughout time, you will see that the monarchs choose to face a different way every time there's a changeover of monarch. So if you have a look at the late Queen Elizabeth II's effigy, she is facing the opposite way to her son, King Charles III.
Yes.
However, there is one monarch that bucked that trend.
We mentioned, yeah.
And that was Edward VIII. The king that abdicated, and he took to the throne, he ascended to the throne in the January, and by December he was no longer the monarch. So actually none of his coinage ever entered circulation. But as we do, the mint, when a monarch ascends to the throne, we did our administrating stuff in the background and we started striking trial pieces. But actually he refused to face the opposite way. He wanted his good side on coinage, and therefore he faces the wrong way on coinage.
Wow.
He bucked the trend.
He bucked the trend. But because you do actually do what do you call it, a presentation that has all of the monarch's coins.
Absolutely, yeah. So in our gift shop at Llantrisson, so we have a visitor attraction attached to the Royal Mint, and they do all sorts of stuff. But actually, I have a tea towel in my in my kitchen. It's really handy because sometimes you're watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and there's a question about which monarch ascended to the throne. You just, well, get my tea towel out.
Tea towel.
Yeah.
Now, this next piece, we're almost out of time, but we want to show you two of our prize pieces. If you say pick the most famous British king, I think most people would probably say Henry VIII.
I think so. He is pretty famous.
Yes,
isn't he?
yes. And his court, was that Greenwich? Was that his? No.
Hampstead.
Yes, Hampstead.
Yeah.
That's right. This is just amazing. So there is the seal of King Henry VIII. You get this wonderful, wonderful booklet that is just amazing. I mean, I can't even fold it all out. I'll leave you to enjoy this in the comfort of your home when you get it. So that's the first part that comes.
It's intended to open like a scroll to be authentic.
Oh, well, let's have a go.
That's the intention. And then you also get the wax seal as well that adds to the authenticity.
I'm going to need a wide shot for this, Paul. Oh, hi!
Look at that.
Oh, look. That's great. Look at that. I'll give you £1,000 if you can read it from there. That's amazing. And then there is information on the other side as well.
So the important thing about the seal is that this isn't actually a coin. So this is a seal. So we can only call something a coin. It's only official UK currency if it carries the effigy of our current monarch.
Right.
And you will see that this doesn't carry the effigy of our current monarch.
No.
So essentially this is a seal struck in precious metal.
Wow. That's yes, it is. That's the actual seal. So that's the seal.
Yeah. This is the certificate.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
And then under that you will see the seal. And again.
Oh, there. Thank you.
To keep in line with the scroll, you have the ribbon that will pull out the seal. So you're looking at the 1 ounce gold there, and there are only 175 of the 1 ounce golds.
And let me take it out. 175. So that's what the ribbon's for. Amazing. 175 worldwide. Also magnetic. And that is pure, goes 1 ounce of fine gold.
Of fine gold, 4/9 fine gold.
Unbelievable. So normally £3,500. Again, I can't believe we're using the dirty word of discount in this particular case. You save £350 off of, if you've got the budget for it, and only a few people in the world will ever own this.
Absolutely. And
again,
you know, this seal was used by King Henry VIII to sign off important government documents. So you think about the amount of change that Henry VIII saw during his reign, the amount of change.
He was a bit of a disruptor. He was the early disruptor.
He was a disruptor. You know, we all know that he left the Roman Catholic Empire. He started the Church of England. So we know that lots of his history, he would have changed a lot of what was now decided by the government. But at the time, it was him as the head of state who made these changes to legislation.
Didn't have too much luck when it came to love, though, did he?
He didn't, I'm afraid.
Well, let's just say his wives didn't. Amazing. Whenever I've got, obviously, I've lived in America for a number of. In fact, at one point before I came back to the UK in 2018, I'd lived longer in America as an adult than I had in the UK, and so I get a lot of friends come over. So I have one of my best friends is coming over for Christmas. So I'm taking 3 weeks off at Christmas because I've worked non-stop for the last year. And one of the places they all first think, where do you want to go? Tower of London, always. And and of course a lot of the beheadings used to happen on the green at the Tower of London before they were moved up the hill.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anne Boleyn is her site of beheading is just outside the tower, isn't it?
That's
There's a cushion there.
Yeah. And he got my friend Tim the last time he came a few years ago, and when you walk up, you go into the White Tower and you walk up and he put his hand on the wall, and I was like, "What on earth are you doing?" So I'm touching something that's over 1,000 years old, which is, of course, in America. It's America's what 200-300 years.
250 years next year after next, isn't it? Yeah.
We've got pubs older than America. Yeah. This is just, amazing. If that is out of your budget, obviously it is a considered purchase. But what I love about it is that it's $31.50, right, with the discount. But it's not like you're buying cream cheese wrapped in brown paper. It's not something with perceived value. It's gold, for crying out loud. It's got actual value.
It'll always have
actual resaleable value and always will. Amazing. Now, if gold, as I say, is out your budget, but you want to stay in the same realm, if you'll pardon the pun, and you want to enjoy the silver version, well, this would be a terrible segue if we didn't have the silver version as well, but fortunately, we do. So let me just put all of this back together. What I love also is not just the products you make, but it is the presentation of how they are. Well, how they're boxed and what is included, and there's just so much bump and pomp and ceremony to all of this, isn't there? Look at that. The director's asking me to hold it up so we can see it.
So this is the 1 ounce silver, only 2,000.
2,000.
2,000.
Gosh, that is madness. I was very lucky. I'm a bit of a Star Wars fan. I got a signed C-3PO photo. Which was number 1 of 1,000 or something like that. But I got number 1. That was always rather special, Let me take this out. Is that? Hang on. Is that right?
Yeah.
Good Lord! If you can't afford the gold, then blimey, the silver is right. I mean, there's a big difference between silver and gold value, obviously. But that is a bit ridiculous, isn't it? 91 quid. Crikey. And this will stop werewolves, Now, the other one will stop Cybermen, don't forget, but this will stop werewolves.
The design is so intricate as well.
Yeah.
So, when we started to remaster these, because we actually took the original seal, so we have made every seal for every monarch since the start of time.
Have you
at the Royal Mint.
No
Absolutely.
way.
So we make all the seals
So
at
when
the Royal
somebody
Mint.
gets crowned, Well, they come to you for an interview and you decide on what their feel's going to be.
Absolutely. So we're in the process of doing King Charles III at the moment.
Oh, that's amazing.
But actually for King Henry VIII, we took the original out of the museum and we used some technology to essentially laser scan it, because you can't run a pen tip across it because it's so valuable and so old. But we laser scanned it, and then we used that laser scan to be able to build the graphics to be able to put it onto precious metal. Wow. From the original in the museum.
This is from the original in
From the original.
My flab is completely ghasted. It really is. You've left me almost speechless. Almost. Valiant effort, we'll call it that. We've only got 25 minutes left. Literally, I wish we had a countdown clock that we could show you, because you've got 20 minutes. Once we go past 3 a.m., if you haven't checked out, you'll have, I don't know, we don't know exactly, it's really at the discretion of, I imagine the person with their finger on the off button of the website is going to want to go to bed. So even though I thought originally it was going to be up to 4 a.m, it might just be a few minutes past 3, and then it says till 3 a.m. on the web, it's right there. I know they were going to ask or leave a little grace period just to allow the last checkouts to go through, but we don't know that for sure. So I'm being told, if you want it and you haven't checked out by, a couple of minutes after 3, that page is going away. It's gone. It really is gone, and those discounts are gone. You can't call them the next day and say, oh, you had on ShopOnTV last night that discount of 30% off so-and-so. Can I please have it? Because the answer will, well, computer will say no.
Absolutely.
And this is how it's going to go. These are so rare, so special, so collectible that, they don't do discounts. This is unheard of, what we're doing tonight. It's a break in tradition, and again, big thanks that they did. But also, if this is, none of this is to your liking, that's the curated discount selection they put together for you, and not discounting because they're end of line. I mean, they're coins. There is no end of line for coins, is there? In fact, the older they get, the more valuable they become. But go and find out some more info. There's loads of really, really incredible information on the site, and have a browse. They do have some other items, some other branded items, including From a Galaxy Far, Far Away. So go and have a little look-see if you want to, a little shufty, and find what pleases you. I hope that tonight has introduced a lot of new people to the numismatic, to becoming, or the journey of becoming a numismatist, or if it was a stamp, what was that, PNC? So it's philately is stamps.
Philatelic, numismatic.
Philatelic, numismatic.
Cover.
Cover. If that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, this. Hang on, is that the right one?
Yeah.
This can't be 157.50, surely. Is it seriously the right product?
It is.
Oh, wow. All right, this is an absolute steal. Again, comes with a beautiful, beautiful booklet. If I've got time, I'll tell you my Queen Elizabeth II story. Love
so that booklet has it's detailing all of the milestones of the late Queen Elizabeth II's reign.
Ah, okay.
So it'll tell you about some of the key milestones, because that's what this set is. It's a selection of 8 coins. They're all £5 crowns, and they're from each decade of her reign. So we know that she had a very long reign.
Yeah, well, the longest reigning monarch in the world.
Almost. I think there is a Chinese monarch that was slightly.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, but she surpassed Queen Victoria, obviously, which was the British kind of standard at the time. But yeah, this story, this set in itself tells a story. It tells the story of the reign of Queen Elizabeth II.
Wow.
Absolutely beautiful.
Just extraordinary. So it comes in a beautiful outer box, but these are big. They're crowns. They're big coins. And you're getting 8. That is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
And what you do get in this as well, which is quite unique. So there's only 700 of these sets. 700? 700 in total. But actually what you will see on the crowns is that you will get all 5 effigies. So Queen Elizabeth II had 5 effigies during her reign. It started off with her looking exceptionally young. An artist called Mary Gillick drew her first effigy. And then Georgie Clark was her final effigy. But you get all of those in this set as well. So it really does mark the reign of the late Queen Elizabeth II.
I hate to be sort of base to even mention this, I remember, years ago I did, I was sponsored by Weight Watchers. I did a thingy with Weight Watchers. And all the press clippings, there are a couple in particular, their magazine, they did a big article about me at the end of it. And I had it framed. And I remember it cost me about 150 quid for a proper wooden frame with all of the, the trimmings and what have you. Mm-hmm. I can't believe that you get, I mean, the reason I say that is because the box alone, no, that was deliberate, that was Paul, that was deliberate. Well, sorry, I was showing something. Paul was looking at something, I was trying to show something. The box alone, look, this is a really, really high quality, solid wood lacquered box. I would have expected the box alone to be worth 150 quid without even the coins in it. I mean, this is a staggering, and to only have, what did you say, 700 worldwide?
700.
700 in the entire history of the universe of these coins being this set being made. Rush, jump to the phones and or to the website rather, and get these if you are a Queen Elizabeth supporter, because I don't think this is going to last very long at all. It's amazing. And we all remember her, I think, from specific eras. I remember this from the Silver Jubilee onwards, which is the same as my producer. Mm-hmm. And I remember 1983, I think it must have been 1983, because I had a brown Silver Jubilee mug. And so, speaking of Jubilees, on her Golden Jubilee, I just started dating my son's mother and my future soon-to-be ex-wife, now ex-wife. And we were in Edinburgh. I'd been taking her on a tour of Scotland. And we ended up in Edinburgh and we checked into a hotel and had a bit of a nap because we were tired. And we heard all of this sort of kerfuffle outside. I thought, what's this? What's going on? So she wanted steak and ale pie. She'd never had it. She's American. So we went to a pub on the Royal Mile, had steak and ale pie, and there was all this kerfuffle. So we were like, what's with this kerfuffle? And they said, well, it's the Queen's Golden Jubilee. She's at the castle, and she'll be coming down the Royal Mile when it finishes. We were like, oh, wow. Oh, interesting. So we wandered up the Royal Mile, and we got past a certain point, and I said to her, when she comes out, there are only two ways she can go. You can either immediately turn right, or you can go straight down the Royal Mile. So we walked right the way up to the exit of the castle, and they cordoned off the right-hand turn. I said, well, she's obviously coming down here. But by which point they'd cleared the street in that second half of the Royal Mile, and they cordoned it off so that she'll come down and turn left at the first available side street. So all of a sudden I hear walkie-talkies going, ducks on the pond, ducks on, using code that being in the media, I understood. And I said, she's coming. And they the car shot out of the castle. And because they weren't expecting anyone on that part of the Royal Mile, they hadn't turned the lights on even in the back of the car. Right. And the Queen was kind of in her handbag, and Philip was looking at, and my ex-wife and I waved like that, and they reacted, and they just went, so, because she only ever does the official royal wave.
Absolutely.
We got an unofficial, caught her in the act.
Oh, amazing.
Royal wave.
What a woman, eh?
I mean, it's amazing. And actually, because I'm very, very closely associated with the Royal Variety Charity and the Royal Variety Performance, and as are many of my sort of colleagues and brethren, and so many have worked with her and worked with the current royal family, and everybody says she was just absolutely amazing. She was did you ever get to meet her?
I didn't get to meet her, no. I'm very sad about that. I never got to meet her.
I wished I'd met her and had a sword put on my shoulders as well.
Absolutely. Don't we all?
I know. But apparently the youngsters as well are also fantastic. The particular William, the future king. And I understand Charles is quite a decent gentleman also.
Well, I haven't met him. I haven't met him, but I would like to say yet. Hopefully I will.
Hopefully you will. How can you've got to work at the right. You've got to get perk, surely. So 1:57:50. We're almost out of time. We've got how long left now? 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and 17 minutes and counting. So, if you would like to get something, anything, do check out ASAP, because if you don't, again, once the clock runs out, once it goes past 3, you're done. We're finished. Over. The end. The discounts would have gone. The discounts will have expired. I don't want it to end. It's been so much for you.
Should we just keep going?
Just keep going, yeah. ITV and STV keeps on the air. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for coming to do this. It's been brilliant. You've been amazing.
Thank you.
You're one of the best guests we've ever had.
Oh,
honestly,
thank you.
Really.
That's really kind.
I know you've done this sort of thing before, but it's just, and it's also, it's nice to see, I mean, you clearly are very satisfied in your job, which, let's face it, for most people, is quite a unique situation to be in.
Yeah. It's a really special place, the Royal Mint.
I know.
It's got some magic sprinkled on it, and I don't quite understand, but
No,
it's the history and the magic.
Brilliant stuff. So let's move on, shall we? This is the Queen Elizabeth II Memorial 2 coin set. What a beautiful photo. Now, hang on, haven't we? Where's the £3,350 item? Did we show that? Oh, I did that, apparently.
Yeah, I think we've done that. Currency conflict, I think.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. Yes, you're right. So we have actually seen everything then. And we're going to end with how fitting, I think, one of the most incredible and impressive monarchs, because as you go through history, let's just say some of the monarchs in the early days were not quite as personable. You know what I mean? Which makes for a jolly good story. But could you imagine actually living in those times when, good Lord. But, well, you wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for them. So
Exactly.
we wouldn't have had this historic monarchy. And again, she never wanted it. She never planned for it. And it was all because of this knock-on effect, wasn't it? Sorry, what was that, Leslie? Leslie's about to tell me something. What have we got in this one? We've got 2 coins, Leslie, commemorating Queen Elizabeth II.
So this...
apparently I'm rambling a bit.
Oh,
Sorry.
right.
So, yeah. You go ahead and talk. Yeah.
No problem at all. So this set is a 2-coin set.
Oh, speak your mind, Leslie. Don't hold back.
Go on, Leslie. So this is essentially celebrating the life and legacy of the late Queen Elizabeth II.
Yeah.
A monarch that we all loved. Me personally, I'm a royalist. I absolutely love the Queen. So this includes 2 coins. The first is a 1953 coronation crown. So this was struck by the Royal Mint in 1953 to mark Her Majesty the Queen's coronation during that year.
Right.
And then this is coupled with 2022 memorial £5 crown. So this is the £5 crown that the Royal Mint did as a memorial to Queen Elizabeth II when she passed. I'll never forget the day. I was at the Royal Mint when she passed. I'll never forget that day. You know, it's one of those days in history.
You always remember where you were.
You know where you were when the Twin Towers. It's one of those things, one of those days. But obviously the £5 crown that was struck in 2022 to mark her life and a memorial coin. The obverse is one of the first coins ever to have her son's effigy on it, because this is the first time, the memorial range was the first time that we introduced King Charles III onto coinage, so it's extra special. And also the 1953 was the first crown to be struck of her entire reign, because it was her coronation crown.
Well, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That is special. Everything's so special.
It's a really special set.
Even the stuff that's very affordable, and even though you wouldn't think it's, at that price that it's got something special about it, you still always manage to find the special in everything, don't you?
Yeah, and it bookends her reign, essentially. You go from the coronation all the way through to, sadly, her passing.
Yeah.
It really bookends
I mean, I
her.
know she didn't make the centenary, but I think she was so heartbroken after Philip passed away, which was very unexpected. And she did have an extraordinary life. I mean,
she did.
I don't think she did badly for her age.
She absolutely didn't. And I always look back on her reign and think, you know what a woman, what a fabulous job she did. If you look at it as a job, if I can be half as good as my job as she was at her job,
she never
wow.
complained. You never saw her grumpy or fed up, or I mean, that she made such a personal sacrifice.
Yeah.
By the way, we've got. We have a question about the sixpence. So Dylan has emailed in. Hi Dylan, thank you for watching. So he's proposed to his now fiancée.
Okay.
And wants to do the traditional thing with the sixpence. Do you happen to know when the 2025 sixpence will be struck?
Yes, so it'll be struck in September of 2024. September, October, generally, yeah. Oh, sorry, 2025. So if it's the 2026, we strike them around sort of October, September
time. So the
time.
2025 would have been struck already?
No, it'll be struck. So 2020, this is the 2025. So the one we have is a 2025.
Oh, that's right.
Is it
Yes,
not?
yes.
Is it dated 2025?
No, it's 2024.
It's 2024. I don't know the answer to that, Dylan. I will have to come back.
But it may have been struck, and it may be available now at the Royal Mint
It may
website.
have been, or it may be early in 2025. Let me come back to that question if that's okay. So I'm getting mixed up because obviously some of our coinage is 2025 dated, ready for next year. So let me double check that and come back.
It's honestly, your knowledge is encyclopedic, and the fact that we've even managed to find one little thing that you're not too sure about is it, I mean, you're very impressive.
The other thing, though, Dylan, so what I did for my sister-in-law, and this is a bit of a tip, she sadly didn't have her grandfather with her at her wedding, so what I did is I sourced a sixpence of the year of his birth, and she wore that in her shoe. So if there's someone who she would want at her wedding that isn't there, but they can walk down the aisle with her, Dylan, maybe that's a nice idea.
Extraordinary. Come on in, David, it's fine, don't worry. We don't stand on ceremony here. Would you mind putting them down? Because I'm going to drop them. Thank you very much indeed. This is David, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. And we're going to get the 2024 sixpence in as well to show you. But we're going to go back to where it all started. These have kind of been the heroes almost of the show. We'll show the sixpence in a bit. No, we're not going to show it now? Oh. Somebody make... All right, no, apparently we're not.
We're not?
OK.
OK.
But it is, if you go to royalmint.com/TV, you'll see it there. It's only because we were talking about it, she was going to give it to us. But we are talking about the 2025 Silver-Proof Coin Limited at the Silver Sovereigns, the first year ever. And this is why so many people have gone for these, that a silver sovereign has been minted. We have two kinds. So we have the one with the privy mark. I learned it finally. With the privy mark, one without. This is the one without. Now, I'll show you where the privy mark is. Now, this is the one with 50,000 limited edition, right?
Yes.
And it's only £63.99. You're saving £16 now if you check out before 3 a.m. Just beautiful. Then we have the one with the privy mark, we'll show you in a moment, which is only a teeny bit more expensive. It's about £100. And then we've got the gold, which is... I love those gold... Both the gold sovereign sets tonight are mine. I've got a bit of a thing about sovereigns, I have to say. So tell us why why people should absolutely buy this now and why it's so special. This is the privy mark. You can see the privy mark next to the date. Do you see the little little mark just to the left of the date on this one? So in fact, we'll change the details on. So this is the one without the privy mark, the £63.99, and then this, the premium, if you want to call it premium one, is this one, which is £100. Again, you're saving 25 quid. And, sorry, now, please feel free to answer the question that I just interrupted you after I asked you.
So, I mean, it's a numismatic first, so a silver sovereign. We've been striking sovereigns since the year 1489 at the Tower of London and the reign of Henry VII. And this year we've decided to bring a sister to the sovereign. So it's exactly the same as the gold sovereign in terms of weight, diameter and tolerance. So it's got a very, very low tolerance in terms of you know exactly how much metal you're getting. So it's exactly the same. However, you get the iconic Pastrucci George and the Dragon design that is so synonymous with the sovereign. You can now own that immortalised in silver.
Wow.
And it's a first. It's the first time the Royal Mint have ever done a silver sovereign.
And it's a limited edition of how many is it again?
Absolutely. So the one with the privy, there's 15,000 available. Well, not available. I mean, lots of them have already sold,
only
right?
50,000 ever made.
50,000 ever made. And then the one without the privy mark, we've made a few more. We've made 50,000 because we want this numismatic first to be accessible to anyone who wants it.
And again, you're giving a discount off of actual silver. I mean, it's like getting discount off of a gold bar. It's ludicrous. I've never heard of anything so ridiculous in my life. But we're doing it. We're doing it, folks, you know. And I'll tell you what, you will, when you buy this now, or for somebody, and you can tell them if they don't know the story, that you will know by the fact you're watching now, you will be one of the first people, not just first, but one of the only people on the entire planet ever to own the very first silver sovereign.
Well, I've bought 3 personally.
I bet you have.
Partly because it's my baby and I've worked at the Mint throughout the idea, the first idea came to fruition of, we want to do a silver sovereign, and I've worked on the project since, but partly because I want one for me, I want one for my son to treasure and to, show his children, look, this is what your grandmother did at the Royal Mint. We produced a silver sovereign. And then also one for my father-in-law. He's a collector. I couldn't let Christmas go by without making sure he had a silver sovereign as a gift from me.
We should do that as well, Dave, shouldn't we? I think, it's just incredible because, look, it's silver. The price of silver will go up just as the price of gold will. So it's almost inevitable. We can't guarantee anything these days that it will hold its value. But also, as you say, once all 15,000 of these sell out, or 50,000 of the others, then technically once there are no more that are being produced, you can only buy from someone who owns one.
Absolutely, it'll be secondary market.
That may very well have a secondary market effect. Who knows? But again, no guarantees. And don't buy it for that. It's never the reason to buy it for that. Buy it because you're buying a piece of legacy. You're creating a piece of legacy for yourself and for your family. Now, I'm sorry, I'm going to be a complete snob. I love the silver ones, and I absolutely will be getting those. Did you get the Privy Mark or not the Privy Mark?
I went for the Privy Marked version.
I'm going to do the same.
I went for the Privy because it is a lower mintage. I know it's more expensive, but that kind of nod. So the Privy Mark is the nod to the Hanoverian coat of arms that has that 200th anniversary this year. So I went for that purely because I love the Privy Mark.
Now, I have to say, I do have a little bit of money saved, and I'm sorely tempted by this. I really am. The presentation box alone, this, to be honest, I don't even know if I'd display this. I think I'd probably buy it and put it in a safe or something.
In a safety deposit box.
Safety deposit box. It's just so special. And £2,000 worth of gold is £2,000 worth of gold. Obviously, this is not £2,000 worth of physical gold, but but the coins have their own intrinsic value, and this is history. This is this is a piece of history. It's the sovereign, the 200th anniversary of the Shieldback sovereign, a 2-coin set, and it's incredibly special for the following reasons.
It is. It's really special. So it brings together the 2025 Hanoverian Shieldback sovereign, because we brought it back to life for its 200-year anniversary.
Yeah.
And then you've got a sovereign that's from the reign of George IV. So that sovereign could be dated anywhere between 1825 and 1830, depending on what the Royal Mint do is we buy them back in, we authenticate them before we put them in a set to make sure that they're in a very fine condition. Yeah. They're both of those coins are struck in 22 karat gold, and they're just, it's just an exquisite set to mark that 200th anniversary of the Shieldback design. And I know I speak to a lot of numismatists in my job, and the Shieldback design sovereign is one of the favourites. So numismatists love the design.
Is this a thing as well? Because I noticed the way this is struck, that the monarch's head is actually upside down relative to the crest or the coat, the coat of arms. Did you notice that?
No, I haven't.
See, these are both the correct way up. But if I turn it round, then Charles's head is the right way up, and the Queen's head is not. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it is weird. I don't know the answer to that. I will have to ask the museum. So I go to the museum for all my knowledge, and we're really lucky with the museum because they help us write all the copies. So all of the booklets and leaflets you see here today are helped by, we get a lot of help from the Royal Mint Museum to make sure that we're giving accurate information. So I will take that question.
Please
and come
do.
back
I
to
would
you.
love to, just out of curiosity. The presentation is amazing, and again, these coins are just of premium, not only premium quality, but I love the fact that you had to kind of reclaim them, or one of them, half of the presentation had to be reclaimed in order to make it in the first place.
Absolutely.
And I mean, how long would that have taken? And where'd you go to find old sovereigns at the right date?
I think we know a man who knows a man who knows a man.
Do you?
Yeah. I think we have a couple. We have a
And
contract.
his name's not Derek.
Absolutely not. But there's only 200 of these sets.
200
200 of these sets.
And once they're gone, they are gone.
Absolutely.
And I don't know how long they've been for sale. I don't know how many of them are actually available left to buy.
I don't either, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. The time is up. We've shown you everything we've done. We can lead a horse to water, but we cannot make it drink. You have to shop at royalmint.com/TV. Scan the QR code, it'll take you straight there, but remember to put the TV on the end. If you go to the regular Royal Mint website homepage, you won't see any of the discounts. You'll only see them at this special hidden landing page. You have minutes left now, and the deals are expiring. They're finishing, they're over, they're done. You will not be able to get them much past 3 a.m. So you must check out, begin your checkout. If you haven't yet, begin your checkout process now. So in other words, make sure if you haven't got an account, you create an account, you put in your information, you deliver in your payment card, and you press buy now. Complete your purchase. If you don't complete your purchase by a few minutes past 3, obviously if you're in the process of paying, everything will be fine. But that page will, if you haven't got to the checkout side of things, a few minutes past 3 a.m, that holding page will be gone. You will not be able to go back, and you will not be able to place an order for those discounted prices. thank you so much. I hope I did an okay job. You were amazing.
Thank you.
And I just really hope that we get to do this a lot more.
It's been really good fun.
Have you enjoyed it?
I have. I've really enjoyed it. If not a little bit scary, let's be honest.
No, you didn't show at all.
Well, that's good. That's good.
I said it would just be like having a chat, and it kind of was.
And it has been. And look, it's my favourite topic, right? I can talk about coins. I mean, I'm one of those boring people at parties. That's who I am. I'll talk you to sleep about coins.
Well, you don't need to worry about that. But it is probably bedtime for some of us, but it's also checkout time for you if you want to get something. From everyone here at Shop on TV, thank you so much for watching this amazingly special presentation. I'll see you again tomorrow night for more. Toodle pip. Bye.